Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor here. We are back with your first stream on deadline day. We're going to be back at 4 p.m., hopefully to round up some good news when it comes to Leeds United. Back at 4 p.m. with Brownie. We're going to be back with a transfer deadline day roundup at 11 p.m., where we're going through absolutely everything, every single sign-in, what the implications are going forward and all this sort of stuff. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy that one. We've also got a watch along on the second channel this evening, everybody. If any of you are interested, I'd definitely recommend that. We have good watch alongs over there as well. Conor McGilligan, link is in the description below. Dead basic. You will find me on all, your YouTube browser searches. So we're doing really well over there now, 3.3K. And I'm back, baby. We're going to be speaking about everything Leeds United. We're going to be speaking about the brand new links. We've not really spoken about it for a couple of days. The rumour mill has been quiet. I can only apologise for that. But we're going to be speaking about sort of everything, that is going on in the Leeds United world. So shout out to all of you guys in the building. Can see a lot of you here. Andy said, morning all. I wonder what delights await us today. GM Connor, mate. Yeah, man. We'll get into that, Luke. Don't worry about that. Morning, everybody. Morning, Adam. Morning, Connor. How you doing, mate? I'm really hoping we get a 10, but it's looking unlikely. Enjoy the journey and happy days. Just smash a like if you. Shout out to you, Phil. Morning. What a great weekend. Keir's in the building as well. Morning, lads. That was some match over the weekend, and the atmosphere was something else. It was, but it was. Shout out to my sponsors, IPM Group, who were there on the day and helped me get in there as well. Obviously, you guys know about the old ankle and all the problems there. So I was sat down and it was all good. It was all good. So I'll tell you what, let's get into the latest Leeds United bits, shall we? So this is something, I've got a little concoction in terms of the pages that I've used today. Okay, so what do we know? Spertsyan, I should say. Edouard Spertsyan. This feels like this has just come a little bit on the beat right now. 24-year-old attacking midfielder spent his entire time at Krasnodar in the Russian Premier League. First gained attention in 2018, emerging as a target for all the big clubs in the world, and no concrete moves materialized. Russian journalist. Interesting how Ivan Karpov as well was a previous player, and he knows Spertsyan apparently quite well, which, in my book, everybody, agent talk, maybe a little bit of filtering in other places. I don't know. Maybe. Leeds manager Farke worked with Spertsyan in his brief tenure at Krasnodar, which is true in 2022. Obviously, the COVID impacted that. Farke has stated that any new signings must be within the budget, the club's restraints. And Spertsyan has been expected to move to a top European club. And he has as well said in this window that his future remains at Krasnodar. 6 months left, I believe, this deal, though. That should be really, really interesting to see how that one develops. But yeah, I don't know. We're number 10, and we're going to get on to the number 10. And guys, we've got implications. We've got notes built up here on how I think this is going to develop. But Spertsyan, I'd be really surprised. As I say, Newcastle were in for him in the summer months. You've had Marseille constantly interested in him. Yeah, and it just doesn't feel like, even with the rumours, Edwin, as you can see in the latest rumours there, Edwin Spertsyan close to joining Leeds United, doesn't feel like that one's going to get going, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly. Wanderlust. There's a lot of people, apparently, who are after him, a lot of clubs, I should say. Your guy with the dreads looked off. He wasn't, mate. No, he wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't like that. I think he's just he's. I think maybe it was the booze potentially. Who knows? But yeah, nothing of that ilk. Don't worry about that. Matt says, "Morning, Connor. Not expecting a great deal of movement today. Morning, Connor. Hi, lads. How's it going?" Herbinder says, "Morning, Connor. DD certainly helps this Monday." Yeah, it does, everyone. It definitely does. So morning, Connor says, "Tez, another nervous last day. Nice size one, but we can't sell." Surely. Mike says, "Connor, if Leeds get Archer and Spertsyan in, then at least two players may be leaving Leeds United due to the fact the given squad they have now." Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I completely agree with you. Richard, that wasn't a Romano account, mate. It was a fake account, so don't worry about that one. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to speak about today, everybody, is Manor Solomon. Now, it's quite interesting, this one, because there's a few rumours going around, and we've spoken about this and multiple times on the channel as well, in terms of Solomon, the deal being done for Manor Solomon based on what happens with Archie Gray. So 10 million quid would be whacked off the installation fee that we still have, the instalments that are still going to Tottenham via Archie Gray, of which I believe we've still got 2 or 3 left. One instalment would be whacked off that, and Leeds United would be going and getting Manor Solomon essentially for free in essence right now. And that would be the loan structure. We just would pay, or we would receive less money from Tottenham Hotspur for Archie Gray. Now, this is interesting because will this happen today? It's unlikely, but this has been going on for a while now. And I wanted to get a gauge of what you guys would do here if it came to Manor Solomon coming to Leeds United. Once again, we all know, guys, Junior Firpo, Dan James, etc., etc. Some of these players have struggled a little bit in the Premier League, and then they've come out to the Championship, and it's like, wow, what players they are. And I was actually watching an interview the other day with Connor Cody, and he was speaking about the Premier League. And it was funny, actually. I put it out on Twitter, and Cody literally said that the Premier League is the best it's ever been. And I kind of had a think about it, and I've said it to a couple of my mates in terms of the standard of the Premier League right now. And we're going to get into that when we talk about Archer as well. But your Brightons, your Burnleys, well, next year maybe. But your Brightons, your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, all these teams of which you'd look at and think, nah, Wolves, multiple internationals. And he was saying now with the managers in there, Unai Emery, with the greatest of respect, at Aston Villa when he's a European Cup winner. You've got Iraola, who's one of the brightest prospects in world football at the minute when it comes to a coaching stance, with the greatest of respect at Bournemouth, who've got something unbelievable going on there, by the way. But all the world-class managers, the best managers, the up-and-coming managers are now coming to the Premier League. Genuinely, there's Ruben Amorim, who's probably got the big question mark over his head. And is that because he needs excellence over system-based football? But the reason I'm mentioning all that, everybody, is because that step up is so gargantuan, it's so massive that, and now it appears to be bigger than ever, that if Leeds, were to go and get Manor Solomon for 10 million quid, it's all well and good now. We're all vibing. We've just beaten Cardiff 7-0. But that step up is so massive and so, it's such a chasm between the Championship and the Premier League. We have to be really careful, guys. It can't just be, let's go get Rothwell. Let's go get Solomon. Let's go, let's go do this. Let's go do Archer. So you kind of look at that overall, and just in that pocket of what I was just speaking about there, that's like 40, 45 million. Ipswich this year have spent 100 plus million quid. We're going to have to do the same if we go out to beast up that squad, So I think we've got to be really, really careful right now in terms of Leeds going out and just being like, yeah, let's go get Solomon. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. We can't be reactionary. We cannot be reactionary. And you'll probably say, Connor, you run a fan channel. You've got to be reactionary. And that's true when it comes to results. But I don't feel I'm ever reactionary with takes when it just comes to a general Leeds stance. I think I'm quite consistent with my long form process. And I am looking, and we're going to get into the Archer chat in just a bit, guys. And I'm going to put polls up. I'm going to put all this sort of stuff up. And I'm going to give you guys two sides to the coin. I'm going to get all of your thoughts in as well. But for the Premier League, if we do get there, which is looking likely now, 5 points clear, hopefully we can keep this run up. Solomon right now has been murmured to be coming to Leeds, and we can work something out with Tottenham Hotspur. We've got to just think. 25 years of age, 3 major surgeries. He's done well this season. Found himself a little bit of a home. I'm sure he'll want to stay as well, 100%. But is it the right thing for Leeds to do? Because we have been Sentiment FC for as long as I can remember, really. And I think right now, I'd like to see a ruthless streak. And that's not any disparaging comment on Manor Solomon, by the way. I like Manor Solomon. He surprised me. But I think when we go up to the Premier League, at all stances of this squad, we've got to be ruthless. We've got to be absolutely ruthless. And I am not taking feelings into account. I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to that anyway. You guys all know that all the way back to Bielsa, when I didn't think it was working. And a lot of people said it wasn't working, but they wouldn't come online and say it. But it wasn't working there. In my opinion, would have gone down with him. Yeah, I love the Marcelo Bielsa, the greatest thing that's happened in my life when it comes to Leeds United. But I think we're going down with him. Okay, there was a bigger picture there. There's a grandeur picture when it comes to the ownership and absolute chaos at the back, in the backroom staff. But I came on and I was like, look, I think he needs to go. I think there needs to be an adequate replacement there in terms of someone who has his ideals, but someone needs to come in and replace him right now. It's not working. And I think that ruthless stance with logic behind it has to be implemented with Leeds when we go up to the Premier League. I think it's really, really important. Manor Solomon is one that we're speaking about at the weekend. He is one of which you're looking at and you're thinking, I don't know right yet. Don't know. Okay, let's get into a few of your thoughts, everybody. Let's have a look. Morning, Connor. Hey, Rob. Connor, what do you think of Burnley signing Marcus Edwards, and what do you think to our transfer targets? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people asking me about Edwards. I think Edwards is a superb signing. I think he's an absolute superb signing. I think his level in the Championship will be very good. The talk about his adaptability not being there is hilarious to me. Marcus Edwards has been ripping sides up for years right now. You know, the sort of arrogance that the Portuguese standard is just substandard, even though with the population and the size of just their league and how sort of small it is, and the amount even in the English Premier League and top leagues around Europe, we cherry pick out of Portugal because it's so good. The standard is so high. The managerial standard is so high. Just the pedigree across the Portuguese board is excellent. So the fact that Edwards has gone over there and apparently he's been playing, he's been playing in the Portuguese league for as long as he has right now. They all love him out there. Amorim said that he was one of the top talents in Portugal. Pochettino has called him the mini Messi, albeit 2018, 2019, but still the talent level is there. And for everyone to say, oh, he's not going to be able to adapt to the championship, is funny to me. What I will say is, I wonder how. 2 minutes. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, good luck. See you in a bit. So I wonder how that's going to work with. I wonder how it's going to work with Parker. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that is because I wonder how he's going to rotate these wingers. I wonder, is he going to stunt his growth potentially at Burnley? Because I think he'd be playing every single minute at Sunderland. I wonder how this is going to work at Burnley. You got Manuel Benson coming back as well, who is a cheat code at this level. And once again, guys, I'm talking about the Premier League and the Championship. Manuel Benson isn't a cheat code in the Premier League. Manuel Benson is a cheat code at the Championship level. This is what I'm talking about when I've spoken about Manor Solomon, etc., etc. It's all well and good being a cheat code here, but can you be a cheat code at that level? And that's what Burnley will be thinking with Marcus Edwards. They think he'll be able to transition. Now, with Edwards, he's been rumoured with Premier League clubs now for years. It's not happened. Why hasn't that happened? Well, that is a good question. It's a very good question. Do teams feel like they can rely on him? You look at Burnley right now and it feels like that's a long-term signing. And I think that's where Leeds need to be looking right now. We need to be looking at these long-term signings, not just short-term impacts. I get that. It needs to get us up. But teams are not going to sell players to Leeds United. It's just not going to happen if it's going to impact them in a negative way and just impact Leeds in a positive way. I find this bizarre how we do have sections who just believe that they're going to do us a favour. Why? It's got to work. And this is what we're going to get into. We're going to get into who it benefits, why it benefits them. And we're just going to try and bring a bit of logic to this Cameron Archer discussion right now, because I think it is getting a little bit wayward. Prabhu says, show us your bad leg. Any cast? Show us your bad leg. Cheers to the donation, mate. Is there any... There isn't a cast on it. It was a grade 3... ligament rupture. So yeah, my foot is just like black at the minute. So it's nice and bruised, mate. So yeah, no casts, thank God. Okay. Good morning, Mick. How's it going? I can't even read that. Jaden Dans from Liverpool to Sunderland. Now I am worried we got to play Sunderland. Do you think there'll be any more signings? Connor will get on signed in just a little bit, mate. But thanks for everybody's comments in. Get your thoughts in the comment section below, as always, everybody. Marcus Edwards is a great sign if Burnley work him. Connor, what's the cut point of transfers? It's 11 p.m, mate. Emmett, hi, mate. Nice to meet you at the weekend. I take Solomon for 10 million. He's value for that price. I think he can get an attitude even better with a great attitude. And guys saying it's a separate deal. It is two separate deals, but they can intertwine. 100%. No smoke. Thoughts on Sheffield United signing so far? Was possibly getting done or Tanganga? Mate, I'll see you on the second channel for that a little bit later on. Anthony says, I think you're dead right in the need to be ruthless due to the step up, but I think Solomon would be a good option for us. Need much better in the GK10 and striker positions for us going up. Joe, it is Anthony as well. I guess the thing with Solomon is if it's 10 million quid, it really, and I've just mentioned it's like an accumulation of like 45 million quid if you do Rothwell, if you do Solomon, if you were to do Archer. If you were to do all those three, it's 45 million quid, right? But are there good enough strikers out there for Leeds to work? Wingers out there for Leeds to work with and get at Premier League level. And the reason I'm saying that is Solomon for 10 million quid, I think would be a pretty decent signing. He's only 25 years old. I just cannot get out the back of my head this injury record. I just think, the step up in athleticism, the step up in speed, physicality, quality. It's going to be so much harder. And I do think people fall into the bracket of UIT is a good option, but I do think people fall into the bracket of a little bit. Yeah, but he's look at what he's done this season. It's like, yeah, but come on, come on. You know, look at what half of that Vincent Company team did a couple of seasons ago in the championship. They decimated this division and got 101 points. They lost 3 times during the whole season. And barely any of them worked in the Premier League from an attacking standpoint. So I am very cautious. I'm very, very cautious when it comes to just being like, yeah, let's go get him. You know, I think Leeds, because I think this has got to be, if we do go up to the Premier League, I think Leeds United have got to have 10 out of 10 window, a 10 out of 10 recruitment window, or we go down. Bin off the goalkeeper, 10 out of 10 recruitment outfield, and between the sticks, to be fair. And, you know, you give yourself a chance. But right now, the chasm is so wide. The gap is so big that if you do not have a 10 out of 10 window, you're going straight back down. And that is the objective fact. There's no subjectivity with that. The teams are too good. Nearly 700 watching and only 90 likes. Come on. Yeah, guys, rack it up. Do us a favor. Rack it up. We're going all day. We're going all day. We've got Brownie on at 4 as well. And anything breaks, we'll be in here. And I want to try read out as many of your comments as I can do, everybody. Oh, good coffee. Good coffee. No Smoke Without Fire says, Dan James has rocketed. The owners are moving Leeds in the right direction. The owners are. The owners are moving Leeds in the right direction. The owners have done a fantastic job, an outrageous job. And it's a shame that it only takes a 7-0 win at the weekend for people to maybe realise that. You know, the owners have done a fantastic job. They've. Do you know what? This is a bizarre take. The owners have actually employed Daniel Farke. I'll just leave it there. You know, because I think some people forget that. They think the two separate entities. The 49ers are here and Farke's here. No, the 49ers are there and they've backed Daniel Farke and they put him in charge. So, yeah, it's a bizarre thing. Yeah, two things can be right. Farke can be doing a good job and the 49ers can be doing a good job as well. It doesn't have to be either or. Peru can be all right. Joseph can be all right. Gruev can be all right. Rothwell can be all right. Two things can be true, everybody. We don't have to pick sides. Morning, Connor. Is the news to Harrison reliable? Now, someone messaged me this about 3 days ago. I think I had a bit of a chat on one of the videos about Harrison and him coming back to Leeds, and someone messaged me instantaneously from down south saying just they said watch this, and it was Harrison to Fulham. Harrison to Fulham. My God. Wow. That'd be impressive, wouldn't it? The risk is massive with Solomon, with his bad injuries. Josh says, look at Ipswich, signed top championship players and they're struggling. We can't be reactionary in the signings. You bang on, mate. You are absolutely bang on. Like, this is the thing. People, it's like right now, it's like, oh, let's go get the cream of the crop. And I was a little bit like that. Do you remember we went up and we signed Rodrigo? I was really annoyed at that. I was really annoyed. Rodrigo's record was okay, but it wasn't great at Valencia. And Brentford were willing to sell Ollie Watkins for a set price. Okay. And I just felt right then was the move for Leeds. It was the cream of the crop of the championship. Kinnear said that's what we do. We didn't end up doing that. I just think when we go up right now, it's like I just think the level's so different now. You know, even the mid clubs. Like you look at when people were saying, you know, Ipswich might have a chance, and they still might. And I'm very much like that they may have a chance, but I'm also very much like they're just going down. Them Leicester and Southampton are just going down. Like every other team has internationals, ridiculous amount of internationals and quality, which can get them out of it. You know, Palace were close not long ago. You know, and they go to Old Trafford, and I know it's Old Trafford, but they beat them 2-0. You know, Mateta scores, standout performances across the pitch. You know, Wolves have turned it around a little bit, but you look at that Wolves team, Matthias Cunha, who doesn't look like he's leaving, you know? Gomez, Larson, they've just got a good team, and that is like the level, you know. Like players who would be starting for us are their bench options right now, and that's what we've got to get used to, I think, which is going to be difficult if we do go up. So Giles says, agree with Connor. If when we go up, it's when we need the big investments. Look at who the bottom of the Prem now is. The same three who went up, and in that order, exactly, mate. Nathan says, I do think Solomon will be a decent addition, but risk with injury record. I'll tell you what, I'll get it in the chat, everybody. You let me know, and this is where you have to be on YouTube. So make sure you sign up to an account, everybody. There's like 40% of you who are just an account. on YouTube. Make sure you do that, and you can get involved a little bit more. So Solomon, I tell you what, we'll go, and it's going to be brutal. But Solomon, yes or no, and that the context of that is the Premier League. Okay, Connor speaking absolute sense. Cheers, Bourne. It does happen. I understand that Harrison is surplus to requirements. Everton, I believe Fulham might be looking at him. Have you heard anything on this, Connor? Just what the guy said to me about 3 days ago, mate. You just said keep an eye on Fulham. That is literally it. I've got nothing else for you there. What do you think of the Sunderland squad? Say, Josh, come join me on the watch long, mate, on the second channel. Connor, can you see a non-so-Saudi bid? Apparently 49ers have slapped a 50 million tag on him. Wonderlust, I haven't seen that when it comes to non-so. But my question would be, I went, and you'll all be thinking to yourselves, Connor went nuts when Joseph scored. I did. And wasn't it a Joseph goal? Wasn't it a Joseph goal? Just the perception, the movement beyond the line. I was like, this is it. Get Firpo in the side. What have we said on this channel? Get the right supply when it comes to the wing backs, the underlaps, the overlaps. Get the right supply. Don't have Byram in there. Even though I like Byram, don't have Byram in there. Have full width, fluidity, dynamism, speed out wide, and the perception in the middle for the strikers is so much easier than someone just cutting back all the time and Leeds having to go vertically to build up. Don't do that. Let's do the old Bielsa. Let's expose teams out wide. And we did that at the weekend. It was so flipping good. Junior Firpo was excellent. But yes, I was buzzing. I was buzzing when Joseph scores. I'm sure you all were as well. If you're not, you've got something wrong with you. Seriously. That's when you've got narratives and agendas. Joseph scores and you're like, well, it still should be Perot. Grow up. But when Nonso scored, we have to be honest, guys, that was probably the best goal of the match. Cuts in, inverts. We've seen it. It was almost like Millwall last season where he whipped it into the side netting, cuts inside, left foot drill. This is like his first touches of the ball. And this is what I'm saying. It's like I get rid of him. I'm like, really? Like, this is why I always go on about his technical level as well. Like, that's the technical level you do. You come onto the pitch. That's what we need to get into, week in, week out. Willing Yonto is a cheat code at this level. He's a cheat code at this level. Do you know? So, yeah, I just think, I just think 50 million quid, I mean, that'd be unbelievable. I don't think it would be anywhere near that for William Yonto. But Ramazani, just a little bit of context. Ramazani is 23. William Yonto is 21. Now, I searched that the other day and I was surprised. I really was. In our heads, we probably think because Nonto's been here for a while, he's this, that, and the other. Nonto's 21. 21 years old. So what he's, does he need to be at this level? Yeah, of course he does. But that's because we've got expectations and standards and we know how good he is. But he's 21. Keep hold of him all day and twice on a Sunday. Dan's in the building. Hey, Dan. Connor, do you think Archer or anyone going to sign for Leeds for the deadline? Which goalkeeper would you sign next season? I hope Leeds make one before that deadline. Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate your donation, buddy. Dan, what we're going to do is get into Archer in just a second, mate. I'm just getting through your comments. Don't want Ian Archer. He's going to Borough anyway, I think, which takes Thingy out of it, Archer out of it, because he was rumoured with them as well. Our best starting 11, half of them should be squad players in the Premier League. Yeah, the squad is good enough to get promoted in the end. Hiya, Mark, not seen you in a while. We'll still need 7 to 10 new players when we're promoted that are at higher standard. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Definitely agree with you there. How many players? Let's have a look at what you guys are saying on the vote as well. So Solomon, yes, 76% of you are saying yes for Solomon. Fair play, guys. Fair play. Saudi's window is shut as well. Shout out to you, Lee. Thanks for that. Solomon is great, especially with his link up with James. For 10 million, it's probably worth that, in my honest opinion. Keep getting your comments in, everybody, and then we'll get into Leeds fans that are fickle. Call for Daniel Farke to be sacked a few months ago. Now we're all loving him. Firpo looks so uncomfortable and confident in that so comfortable and confident in that left back position. We had so many man of the match. Firpo was the man. Connor, those two men in your vlog at ER, do you mention they're your sponsor? Yeah, they are my sponsor, mate. Yeah, IPM lads, Rick and Des, they sponsor the channel. The Bailey brothers, anybody heard of the Bailey brothers? Someone mentioned it in the comment section as well. I'm terrible with music, but yeah, the Bailey brothers we're all there. Yeah, JP says now we're all not loving him. Are we speaking? I do think this is a thing. It's like there's a lot of one-upmanship with our fan base sometimes. It's very bizarre. But yeah, apparently there's been loads of Leeds fans who wanted him out. There has been on my comments, but once again, yeah, I've always been content with him. Always been content with him. Okay, Cameron Archer. Okay. Let's get into it, shall we? Cameron Archer. Okay, so there's ways that we're going to go through this. I want to talk about what this means for Leeds United. I want to speak about why this would be maybe a good or a bad signing when it comes to Leeds, and I want to speak what makes sense here from every single party. So, what I can tell you is I'm not an in the know. I know nothing. I'm not going to confirm anything on here. I'm just not going to do that. I once again was messaged by a very, very similar source who told me Archer is not in their plans. Wow, shock horror. Well done, Connor. Not in their plans. They need movement for Archer to leave. Now, what I don't think has been reported yet, which this specific individual has told me, who will remain nameless, is that there is going to have to be, for this one, a massive obligation fee, which is really interesting. Now, we're going to break that apart. Now, an obligation fee would mean that Leeds United get Cameron Archer on a loan right now. Okay, so we get loan, and then an obligation basically means that Leeds United, at the end of the season, don't have an option to sign Cameron Archer. They've signed Cameron Archer. There's clauses in there. It could be dependent on Leeds getting promoted, okay? Dependent on the obligation fee and what is within. So Southampton, from what I know, want a big obligation fee. That could change today. Now, why would it change? So for me, when they get relegated, which you all know is happening, Cameron Archer fires them up. I think his last championship season, he got 17 goal contributions out of in his last 20 games. The championship, once again, very good. Now, a statistic, which I find quite interesting with Cameron Archer, 6 goals in 60 appearances. Bear that in mind. So, yeah, fires them up. I think Southampton fans all agree with this as well. Cameron Archer in the championship would be a cheat code, like Marcus Edwards, like Willian Yonto, like Laji Ramazani, etc., etc. We've got numerous examples. Also, from the Southampton side of things, they've got to be looking at why Leeds want him. Top of the division, 5 points clear. We've scored 60 goals. Once again, we've scored 60 goals. One more time for those at the back. We've scored 60 goals. And have the best goal difference I think we've ever had in our history at this stage of the season. Why would Leeds want him? So they're going to look at that and they're going to think, well, no, we're going to go down. Why would we want to lose Cameron Archer? Okay, so that's one thing. That's one sort of side of it. The second thing is the manager, Juric, who doesn't like him. Now, I know this for a fact, all right? He doesn't like him. And I just have to say that, guys, because a lot of people will be like, well, why doesn't he like him? He just doesn't favour Cameron Archer. And remember, this weekend, he had a groin injury. So he's out the squad, okay? So he doesn't like him. Not personally, I'm sure. Well, they might have a few issues, but this is very, very close in terms of this individual believing that Archer wants to leave. Leeds want it. Borough want it as well. Who's another name he threw in there. Borough want it as well, but it looks like they're closing a little bit on Iheanacho, I think. So groin issue was out at the weekend. Now, my whole point is here: if Juric stinks of a short-term appointment. He absolutely stinks of a manager who they were hoping maybe will keep them up. I know he's highly rated, all this sort of stuff, but I don't know if he's going to be a long-term appointment. So if he's not a long-term appointment, we saw Russell Martin liked Archer. There is no point in getting rid of Cameron Archer. So I think that's what they're going to be thinking down there. They're going to be thinking if Juric isn't the long-term manager, the new boss might come in the championship and prefer Archer. And then you've got Archer and Armstrong up top in the championship. That's a certified 25 each, maybe 30 goals. So, obligation or option? So if it's an obligation, Southampton are going to get the whole fee, which I think is going to be in the range of 20 million quid. Now, one side of this, if you're Southampton, is get rid of Archer right now, cut your losses, make the money back that you spent on him, and go out and get a Premier League adaptable striker. someone who you can get that 20 million quid in. His value may only depreciate, which is dependent on if he does well in the Championship. Get someone who's Premier League adaptable for Southampton. Invest a little bit of money into him. He's a Championship striker, but then can, obviously, like we just mentioned, can make that step into the Premier League. Someone of maybe Liam Delap standard, maybe someone like that. You know, I know it's a rare find, but that's maybe what they'll be thinking. Cash in on Archer. He's not been great for us. Good in the Championship. Can't really do it in the Premier League. Bear that in mind. And we'll see what happens. As I've just mentioned, one more time, 60 matches in the Premier League, 6 goals. So I'm kind of this opinion right now, and I want to get your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. There's a lot of domino stuff going on here. So Southampton are apparently interested in Ings. They've gone and got Victor Udo from Royal Antwerp. I've never heard of him. Look, the deal is at the advanced stages for Southampton. 21 games in the Jupiler Pro League for Antwerp. Now, Charlie House, I believe, that's Archer House, Charlie House, can't quite remember his name, but he's from down there. Southampton reporter has said that he's going to be going straight into the academy. But Brockman, who is also a journalist down there, has said that it's all a balance of costs and additions in this side, which basically means if Victor Udo comes in and he's part of the squad, well, that's Archer even further down the pecking order. It's just a case of balancing the numbers in the squad right now. So he said, look, if Udo comes in, Victor Udo comes in, Archer is then more likely to go to Leeds United. So there's a lot of different conversations here. Balancing act of numbers, he goes straight into the academy. So where I think, Alfie House, cheers, Russ. So where I think this is best for both clubs, if it were to happen, is an option. He comes in for 6 months at Leeds United, is a really good option there. I think Southampton are going to be looking at this and thinking if it's an option, then what happens is Juric goes, which I think will happen. I think that's naturally going to happen. It's normally what happens when a team gets relegated, even if they employ someone in the January. Juric goes. Leeds have got him as an option for the next 3-4 months, as a loan signing for the next 3 or 4 months. Think of Connor Roberts. Does well for Leeds. Goes back to Southampton in the summer. Fires Southampton up. Juric is gone. Leeds don't have to spend the money on Cameron Archer then. We get into the Premier League. We've got potential recruits here, there, and everywhere. We don't have to have that obligation on Archer where he might not do well in the Championship. It's not certified that he comes in and scores another 10, 11 goals. We have an option right now, not that obligation. For me, that is the right way Leeds need to go about it. I think it works for Southampton that as well, because Archer then is available for them in the Championship, pending no other teams come in for him in the summer, which Leeds might do again. Who knows? Depending on how well he does. But Southampton then in the Championship have Cameron Archer to get them back up. So it works for both sides. So this is I think this is where everybody has to think. It's not just Leeds. It's not where it is. You have to think about the other club. Archer wants to leave. Fact, he wants to leave. Doesn't like Juric. Fact. Okay. Now, it's all about right now, Southampton have rejected a loan fee from Leeds. Why have they rejected that loan fee? There's murmurs that they want an obligation in there. Okay, well, if you want an obligation in there, this is probably going to work against you unless you think that money been invested in a striker is going to be a better option than Cameron Archer in the summer to be adaptable to the Premier League. Okay? So that's where I'm looking at. Captain Ahab, I disagree that he's going to be in the number 10. I think Archer comes in, he's going to be a 9. I don't think Leeds are going to sign him as a 10. I think there is that versatility, which I like. But so for me right now, the Southampton going out and getting Victor Udo, I think is how you pronounce his name, the 21-year-old from Royal Antwerp. He then goes into their academy structure, but it is still another striker at the squad. It's still, we're talking about pecking order right now. Is Archer going to be ahead of him? It's unlikely. Even if he comes in as an academy product right now, it's unlikely Archer's going to be ahead of him because Archer's not been in the squad. And Juric has favoured Onuachu ahead of him anyway. And Southampton have won at the weekend, which is another key thing to talk about without Cameron Archer. Because best believe if Cameron Archer scored at the weekend and then they won the game, they wouldn't even be talking to Leeds about Cameron Archer leaving. It'd be a PR nightmare, and maybe Archer will then run into a bit of form. This isn't happening right now. So I have a feeling this doesn't get done. And this is because I am a Leeds fan and I've been through this so many frigging times of, oh, it's deadline day, Leeds moving in, and the parent club don't want to sell. Wow, what a shocker. It doesn't give me hope as well that they've rejected a loan fee already. You know, were they waiting for Victor Adu to come in? Maybe, but the domino effect and why you can see it on the thumbnail, guys, is there's sort of mental gymnastics going on here, which does have logic behind it. Evan Ferguson gone to West Ham. West Ham then let Danny Ings go to Southampton. Southampton then let Archer go to Leeds, which would happen. That would be a domino effect. But from what we've seen today, there is no credible sources suggesting Danny Ings is going to be going to Southampton. So, yeah, I think that there's a conversation to be had there. And yeah, but I think an option suits both clubs down to the ground. I think obligation is very risky. I think it's risky for both clubs. I don't mind it as a sign-in. I don't mind it as a sign-in. But an obligation right now for 20 million quid or whatever it would be, because they want a big obligation fee. So they want a big obligation fee. So if they want a big obligation fee, Archer just has to work. He has to work right now. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. You know, that I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but it has to work. And is there whatever people will say, because he's not been part of the best sides, let's be honest. He's not been part of the best sides in the Premier League. You kind of want it certified. And is it going to be certified in being even available for Leeds United right now? You know, is it certified if he's proven himself in the Premier League? Probably not. But it's a massive risk because that's your signing. That's your statement signing. It really is. Now, is it someone who's maybe a little bit of a better signing than someone like Tom Cannon? I think it is. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because obviously they've got that obligation, or the Matt signed him for that price anyway. But there's going to be bonus bits from what I understand from Jim going on that Tom Cannon signing, which is going to take it up significantly and is going to be their Premier League signing. Cameron Archer, if there is an obligation in that signing, would be our Premier League signing as a striker in a 4-2-3-1 system. 100%. 100%. So, and I think that would have to be in maybe an agreement between the two clubs anyway, or at least on Archer's side anyway. So yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to consider here. Let's have a quick look at what you guys are saying. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm sure a lot of you guys will want this. We've had 80% of you who would keep, 81% of you who would keep Solomon. We're going to get it in the chat as well. Let's have a look. Archer. Yes or no? And I want you to, I'm not trying to sway anything. I'm not trying to sway anything, but I want you to really think about it. What we've discussed this morning, I want you to really, really think about it. What do you think? And there might be 900 million people who are saying yes. Jasper says, Archer, not for me. 100% agree, Connor. No way we should pay 20 million quid for Archer. Dan says, if Southampton go down, there is no way Archer stays. So no point in making plans for him next season. If Archer signs for Leeds, do you think Farke will play him in the number 10 or 9, mate? 100% 9. There's no way they play him in the 10. I don't think. They can rotate him in game. Helen says, Connor, yeah, I mean, yeah, Helen, this guy, I've got one of my best mates, used to be one of my former best mates used to be a Barnsley fan, and you might have seen him on some of the vlogs years ago, on the previous channel that I used to work for. But look, mate, he was talking about Connor Chaplin when they first signed him at Barnsley, and they were saying, look, mate, he would be an unbelievable sign. Now I was like, Connor Chaplin at Barnsley? No way. But yeah, I mean, he's not playing as well as he regularly. Wouldn't mind that whatsoever. I'll take Spertsyan as depth in the 10 and move on as depth in the 10. You think a guy who has got Newcastle, Marseille, AC Milan, Espanyol, Barcelona, all looking at him, is going to come to Leeds United as depth? Don't think so, mate. Brendan Harrison's not that good. Mikey says you can't write off a player after playing in the two worst sides in Premier League. Mikey, I've not written him off anywhere. There's not been anything out of my mouth that has said we're writing him off, mate. What I'm saying is it's a risk. It's a risk, and maybe an option to sign him is a little bit more preferable and sensible than an obligation to sign him. That's how I'm sort of looking at it right now. Archer, of course I'd be excited by Cameron Archer. Of course I would, 100%. It'd be interesting to see what happens then with Joseph. It'd be interesting to see what happens there in the movement when it comes to that. Would we then have 4 strikers on our books? Because I can't imagine today we're going to be able to get rid of Joseph, or obviously Bamford's kind of in now, but it would be 4 strikers on the books. So, yeah, JP says, Will Farker ensure we play to his strengths? We'd all be buzzing if we signed Swansea's Joel Peru. But it doesn't guarantee anything if Farker isn't going to play to their strength. Do you know what, JP? I actually think Archer is more applicable to Leeds and it works more for Leeds than Peru did. Peru, we said at the time, someone put it out on socials actually about myself. They're like, O'Connor says this thing, and then he said this thing. If you actually listen to what I say on the stream when we signed Joel Peru, the context was it's a great signing. I'm really happy about it, but I got pelters for it then as well. But is he going to fit into this system? Is Joel Peru the striker that we need? And then we find out a little bit later on that Archer was one of the ones that we were interested in. So I think two very different players once again, two very, very different players. Liam Delap, if we go up, I think Delap will be going a little bit higher than Leeds, to be honest, mate. If it's a loan with an option, then sure, but he's not Premier League quality, in my opinion. Don't count Southampton out, Connor, for going down. They still have a chat. I don't know, mate. They're on, 9 points? I don't think they are. Getting 3 points in the Premier League is extremely difficult as well. But yeah, look, I think I don't mind it. I don't mind it as an obligation. As I said, I don't mind it. As I say, I just think it's a bit of a risk. I just think it's a risk. Have we seen that Premier League adaptability? Would Villa have kept hold of him, with the amount of youth they've looked at in their setups as well? Would it have worked at the other clubs? So he's had a lot of appearances. There are a lot of appearances that I know they've been poor sides. I know when you talk about creativity, this, that, and the other. And the beautiful thing about Archer is a lot of other sides rate him. Speaking to Jim about him the other day, the Sheffield United fan we have on the channel, he was like, yeah, Archer, definitely. So it's not like I would be opposed to it. Guys, is it going to happen? I don't think this will happen. I think this is all just air anyway. So yeah, I think this is all just as talking air. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to go on with him anyway. It's interesting right now anyway. The other day when this was all happening with Archer, when we were all speaking about him, there's loads of stuff going on. We're chatting this, we're chatting that, and all that we're seeing right now is just Edwards going to Burnley. So yeah, I don't think this will happen. I'd rather recruit a goalkeeper, in my opinion. Yeah, man, it's just gone quiet, Scott, hasn't it? It's just gone quiet. Hello, mate. You just joined. Hey, pal. How's it going? They're happy with what we have, to be honest. So anyone would add more depth than me. I think it's a really good point, mate. Yeah, Archer could have a relegation clause. Yeah, there's a bit of natter about that, mate. Do you think Archer can do a job in the Premier League, or is this short term? I don't know. It's the thing is, you need proof, don't you? You need evidence. So this is like people get really geared up and excited. It's like, oh my God, Cameron Hart. It's like, okay, like cool. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I'll be excited if we sign him, of course. But Premier League, I don't know. That's where I'm looking now. This is why a lot of you guys might think I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to it. I'm of the mentality that Leeds are going to get battered multiple times in the Premier League if we do go up. I think it is going to be a humbler. We're going to be there and we're going to be thinking, Jesus Christ, there is likelihoods Brighton come to Leeds United and put 5 goals past us. These are all likelihoods. You look at the standard right now. So when I'm looking at these sort of standards, I'm not getting giddy right now and thinking, your Rothwells, even though I love him, like I've come in here before so many times and spoke about Rothwell, your Solomons, your Archer. I'm not getting that giddy about them because I'm thinking, right, well, in the summer, if I see some players that Leeds a link to and I go, oh my Lord, this is exactly what we need. And then we've shelled out a certain amount on X, Y, and Z. So we can't do that, I mean, is there going to be 2 separate pots? Is there going to be 2 separate pots for the stadium as well? We look at the stadium with the 49ers. That's going to be one of the first things they do. So how is that going to work? We know that's going to affect the atmosphere, because a certain portion of the ground's going to be out of action. So when Leeds do get to the Premier League, from what I understand, that's going to be one of the 49ers' first things they do. So there's going to be a portion of the stadium that's going to be out of use anyway. We know how advantageous that Leeds United crowd is for us. Are they going to do that in the first season, the second season? Well, with what we know, it's going to be immediately. That's one of their first points of improving stuff. So is that going to impact a little bit the transfer budget? We've heard Angus come out before and said it won't affect it whatsoever. It will affect it. Of course it's going to affect it. We've not just got a bottomless pit of money. And I understand stadium renovation is installments. There are certain points of which certain things will happen, but these are things that we have to talk about as well. These are things that we need to talk about as well, because these are going to happen straight away. Connor, is Archer a fresh air not happening signing and 49ers pull an unmentioned player out the bag? Might drive. Yeah, Mark, pick me up, mate, if you want. Yeah, I don't think it's not going to happen, but I think there's an option there. I just wonder why they've rejected the loan already. Leeds made a loan offer the other day, and it was promptly rejected. Juric doesn't like him, which helps us massively. They've also brought in Ado, who's a young striker from Belgium. So that's, as a numbers game, that's another attacker. I don't care if he goes into the development squad or the academy cell. It's a game of numbers. You've still got another player coming in on a salary. So, if Leeds cover all of Archer's wages and have an obligation, then that's going to help Southampton out massively. But they've got to think long term. And Southampton are going down. Everybody knows that. Well, nearly everybody knows that. So Southampton going down, they've got to look at their best interests. They want to come back to the Premier League. Cameron Archer gets them back up to the Premier League. And you'll probably be screaming, Connor, well, why don't you want Cameron Archer right now? Well, it all boils down to it, doesn't it, everybody? It all boils down to the question of right now, is this squad good enough? Are Leeds United good enough right now to get promoted? If you're fourth in the division, even if it's last season, and we're on this run, because that last season we're on this mad run right now, weren't we? But Leicester and Ipswich were still. I mean, at Christmas time, Leicester were 13 points ahead of us, and Ipswich were, I think it was 10 or 11 points ahead of us. You're kind of looking at that and you're thinking, Jesus, Jesus Christ. We need to go and get someone who's going to give us that extra value, that extra level. We're going to have to make that incremental point of which, we're going to get into that top two. So you kind of get it there. It's long term for me. It's long term. And as much as people get giddy about it, look, we know that, and it's amazing. The step up. Can Archer make that step up as Leeds' statement signing in a 4-2-3-1 system under Daniel Farke in the Premier League? Because if we do get up, the microscope's going to be huge on the manager, massive on the manager from the 49ers, because they don't want to be part of something right now that is just a constant yo-yo project. And that's great. And it's like, are they realistic right now? Because that's the Premier League. Well, they're going to be used to it very, very quickly because how hard it's going to be next season. But they don't want that. The 49ers want Leeds' stadium to be state of the art. They want Leeds to be up there, and they want us to be competing. That is the blueprint for Leeds United. One city club, probably top 8, 9 biggest clubs in the country. They want Leeds to be competing. We all know that. We've heard the mantra. So they've got to be thinking ruthlessly. And guys, this is going to be, and a lot of people won't like this is going to involve the manager as well. Facts. It's going to involve the manager. They'll know that there's going to be a certain amount of games that they'll give him in the Premier League. And if he adapts, amazing. If he doesn't adapt, it's gone. Because this lot are ruthless. You look at that rap sheet they've had over in the States, they are ruthless. So this is the thing. The context of what I'm saying is because this is very, it's very heavy on what Leeds do right now, because they've got to be thinking in 3 or 4 months' time. Because right now, Leeds have the best squad in the division. We're top of the league, and we've just beaten Cardiff City 7-0. Cardiff City have been unbeaten in 8. You've got our rivals bringing players in, probably aside from Enzo Lafay, that I'm not really that jealous of. I love Marcus Edwards. I think Marcus Edwards is a quality signing at championship level. Do I think Parker will utilise him correctly? There's a question there. I think I'd have been a little bit more concerned if he'd have gone to Sunderland, if I'm honest with you. But overall, I'm looking at Nonso, I'm looking at Ramazani, I'm looking at James, I'm looking at Solomon. I do not swap them for anyone at this level right now. I just don't. You've got Joseph getting a goal, which I'm so happy for him, getting a goal. And maybe we've all said that if he gets a goal, if he just gets a goal, I thought he came on, he held up the ball well, he was linking the attack in the midfield really well. Peru got his 2 goals. 2 decent finishes. The defense was superb at the weekend. It had nothing to deal with Leeds, dictated everything. But I understand that if you lose to Coventry, it's all going to start coming up again. And if Burnley win, I know it's going to start coming up again. I understand that. I get where we're at right now. But this squad should be going and beating Coventry. I don't care what they've done. I don't care what Coventry have now done. Their squad isn't as lucrative as ours. The investment in this team has been big. The wages that we're paying are the most in the division right now, So it's very lucrative where Leeds are at this moment in time. So, yeah, do I think this squad is good enough? Yeah, I do. And the table tells me that. The table tells me that we're the best team in the league. The table tells me that we've created the most big chances, the best XG. If we didn't have a Polo Min, a New York Bagel, a French hologram in there, then I think we'd probably have a goal, 1 or 2 away from Burnley's defensive record. If we didn't have the goalkeeper that we have right now, Leeds United will be 7 or 8 points clear. Right now, we're 5 points clear of third. So I'm not in panic mode. I'm in long-term mode. If we bring in Archer right now, is that going to benefit my club in the Premier League? That's what I'm thinking right now. If there's an obligation, that's where my head's at. It's not slagging off the 49ers because they're not bringing him in. Because I look at the 49ers, I'm like, well, we're first in the position. We're first in the table. We're above all the parachute payment teams right now. We've scored more goals than them all. We've got a better midfield and rotation options than they have. We've got better wing options and rotations than they have. There's an argument we've got a better striker rotation force than they have as well. So I kind of look at that and I think, well, we've done a pretty decent job. We've got Altanaka in for 3 million quid. Once again, we've got Altanaka in for 3 million quid. One more time. To everybody at the back, Altanaka, 3 million quid. Ramazani, 7 million quid. I think they've done a pretty good job. Pretty good job. In my opinion. That's just me. Let's have a look. FPL says some of us are a perfect example of the gap in the quality of the Premier League, regardless. Yeah, exactly, FPL. You bang on. And Somerville's struggling at the minute. Rutter, I think they all love him down there. He's been the adaptable one, and who'd have thought that, 2 years ago. Yeah. Let's have a look. Kev says, don't look like anything happened today. The same adage, we after a player and they don't want to come here. Just want to be seen to be doing something and getting nothing done. All right, fair enough. Connor 49ers have already set aside 200 million for the stadium, mate. Yeah, Lee, I just wonder how much that's going to encroach. Mate, he's getting giddy. He gets giddy. Do you know what I mean? He gets really giddy. Every signing, you got to think with Jim Bob, right? Jim Bob said 6 of their players get into a combined 11. 6 players of theirs get into a combined 11. Harry Souttar is better than Strauch. That's what we had. Alfie Gilchrist was better than Bogle. Kiefer Moore's better than Peru. You have to get, what else did he say? Raksaki ahead of Nonto. Oh, man, take what he says with a pinch of salt. He just gets very excited. Very, very excited. Henry says, Connor, there is a private jet scheduled to fly to Leeds at 6:58 from Bournemouth. I think that could be something or not. I don't know, mate. Who would that be? Is Archer the mixture of Joseph and Peru that you had spoken about finishing off Peru work rate of? Yeah, he is at this level. He's an assassin, really, Archer, when you look at his record. And he does hit that target. He's much more. I think if Archer was to come in, I think you'd actually get more people going like that with Peru. Because you'd actually see a player who can do both. And it shouldn't be acceptable to just go missing in as many games as Peru goes missing in. Look, scored at the weekend, fantastic, amazing, great. But we all know Peru goes through 4 or 5 games of just not being involved, like not scoring, but not being involved, and the fan base just completely accepts that because Joseph isn't deemed good enough. You know what I mean? If there was someone pushing Peru a little bit more, there'd be a real conversation there right now. And I think maybe more Leeds fans would be questioning Peru. I get it. Look, I get the goals tally. You look at where he is right now. But I just think sometimes it's just the absolute anonymous nature of him in games and how easy it is. It's just so important that Leeds have got goals from everywhere. Because if we didn't have that, there'd be more of a spotlight on Peru because it just wouldn't be acceptable to go as many games just peronimus as he does. And that's I think that's the issue with it, really. Morgan Whittaker to Burnley could be a game changer. He's gone to Borough, mate. Gone to Borough. In the summer, we made great signings to pull ourselves away from other squads. Certain teams have strengthened to close that gap. I see Leeds needing to make 1 or 2 signings. Fair enough, mate. Good morning, Connor. Completely agree. We should walk out of this league with the current squad, which is why we're having a quiet window. Do you think the owners are just waiting? I don't know, Brett. I mean, the thing is, they've said that they want Archer. This is the thing, like, because we'll get the whole thing, won't we? We tried FC. But what else? I guess what else do they do? They've not leaked anything. It's frustrating. Of course, it's frustrating. Cameron Archer, I'd have Cameron Archer right now. Thing is, I'd have Cameron Archer right now. I don't know. I don't know about the Premier League. I don't know about the Premier League, you know? Imagine if there's a striker, let's say we go up, right? And there's a striker who you see, hypothetically, Sheffield United getting. And we're all like, oh, yeah, that'd have been good. Yeah, that'd have been a nice one. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, really. I get it. I mean, let's have a look at the chat. How many are saying, wow, okay, guys. 55% of you are saying yes. That's crazy, guy. I didn't expect that, you know. I didn't expect that. I thought I was going to just hop up on there and see the poll, and you guys were going to say like 90% Archer. That's so interesting from you guys. 55% have said yes to Archer. I thought it'd be like 90, which is interesting. And I think that's what I keep saying to you guys. I'm trying not to lead it as such because you all have your own opinions, but I'm trying to get you to think not in a patronizing and condescending way here as well. Because you're all, I know I learn more coming on stream than you guys will learn from me. So you're all way ahead of it in comparison to me anyway. But I'm trying to get you to think long term because there's so much noise out there, which is short term thinking for me. I think you've got to look at that next level. And I think that next level, there's a conversation there about Cameron Archer maybe not being that step up. There's a conversation at least. I think an option would be perfect. Leeds smashing it, no argument. As a neutral, you're winning the league. Up the Clarets. Yeah, Andy, we're going to be back with a watch along tomorrow for your guys on the second channel, mate. X says, whatever about Farke, I won't listen to any criticism of the 49ers. The 49ers are the best thing to happen to Ellen Road. I think they've been a breath of fresh air, to be honest, mate. BPC says, have to agree with you on Tanaka and Ramazani. They're quality and good on the recruitment team for that, but we still need a goalkeeper, I presume that is, a left back, a number 10, and a striker. BP, is that something you think we need now? And why do we need them or do you want them? That's my question. And I think this is the whole thing with Archer. Do we need Archer or do we want Archer? Do we need a centre-back or do we want a centre-back? I think, and we said this on December the 28th, that as soon as Sheffield United, Sunderland, Burnley started making signings, there'd be a little bit of panic. And that's not to diminish what your thoughts are. Do you not think it's more cold if Leeds just sit there, arms folded, and we're going, yeah, go on then, sign whoever you want. We're pretty confident. We've got a 22-man squad now, I think it is. How many of those get used on match day? 15, 16? Do you not think it's like cold and assassin-like for Leeds to just be there like, all right, you go do what you would want, guys. We're pretty confident. And that's like, you know, we've improved our away form. I think a win against Coventry would be massive. I think that would be massive for us. I think that's a banana skin. But do you not think it's more sort of like, because I know everybody's thinking, oh, well, you know, teams will be looking at Leeds and thinking, oh my God, they're not signing anyone, they're this, that, and the other, and they're going out and signing people. They need to sign people. They need to sign people. And that's the context. Do we need to sign anyone? Not 100% sure we do. Robert says, Connor, do you think any promoted team stand a chance of staying up this year or next year? I think it's minimal, mate. Minimal. Absolutely minimal. And this is why I keep saying, the recruitment has to be 11 out of 10, really. And this is why I keep forcing that challenge on people to think, is Archer long term? And I could be wrong. Archer could come up with Leeds. He could be in an environment of which will help him. We've not spoken about that. If he's in a better environment, you look at Sheffield United every time. With the greatest respect, they go to the Premier League. There's no point. There's no point in him going to the Premier League, really, is there? Leeds go up, and you do feel with how big the club are as well. It will be a much more, you know, attractive proposition. If we're able to build around Archer, he might prosper. Literally, he might prosper. And who's to say we don't go out and get another striker? Because Peru ain't starting in the Premier League, let's be honest. It feels like Joseph maybe would get a loan to the Championship. So we might have to go out and get another striker. But then you got the question once again of, would Leeds do that? You know, will we go out and get two strikers? Because that's 50, 60 million right there. Minimum. Sheffield United in for Dunn, Tanganga, and 2 unnamed European wingers. Mate, I'm taking Strauch and Rodon and Ampadu over both of them every single day of the week. No offense. Joe, I know you're a Sheffield fan. I think it's hard with Archer, to be honest. Has he really been in a team where they can show off his skills and attributes in the Prem? I believe he's one of them. Too good for champ. That's it, innit? That's why they always talk about that middle league. It's SPL, innit? It's not. But yeah, it's that thing, isn't it? He's very good at championship level. I think we can all agree that Cameron Archer is a very good addition at this level. And that's why if it's an option, cool. Would Southampton go for an option? That's probably where the negotiations are. And I think an option helps Leeds massively. I don't know if I'd want to go in for an obligation, but I like Archer. I think as an option, I'm turning around and going, yeah, boy. And a lot of you guys might be saying, oh, well, they don't think Archer's good enough. Don't believe that. I don't think Archer's good enough. Don't believe that. I ain't said that once. I have never said that. Once again, lies. Never said Archer isn't good enough. It's never been said on this channel. But it feeds the narrative a little bit, doesn't it? A little bit of hysteria. That's never what I've said on this channel. I'm trying to be logistical about this and look at Leeds long term, and not just be like really reactive about it right now. Will he fit into a Premier League side as Leeds United starting number 9? 60 matches, 6 goals. I understand, not been great sides. I get that, 100% get that. But why is there not been better sides coming in for him then? Ask yourself the question of whose position would you rather be in now? Top 4 squad-wise and league position. We don't need anyone. Tom says, I want us to be looking at top quality players who are on an upward trajectory. Archer ain't that. It's the obligation thing. We don't need to waste money. Jay says, we're going to need a new spine when we're promoted anyway. Just wait. 100%, mate. Morning, mate. How's it going? We all know Cannon will be leading the line for the Blaze next season. We don't want the same situation with Archer. He 100% will be, by the way. There's no way he signs for Sheffield United and doesn't almost have that in his contract. There's no way. Louis says, Archer in this team could look crazy good. Look at Bogle and Solomon. Yeah, 100%, man. But once again, Louis, Bogle, even Bogle and Solomon in the Premier League. Long term, man. This is what we're talking about. Long term. I'm sticking with Bogle, by the way. You guys know I love Jayden Bogle, and I've been sticking up for that boy for the entire season. I love that signing. He's my right back in the Prem, but there's questions. He struggled to make that step up. He did. Defensively, especially, So this is what I'm trying to talk about. You got to make that risk at some stage. You have, but this is what I'm talking about. Right now, we have to be thinking about that next step, in my opinion. Keep whacking a like on the video, everybody. We've got 2,300 across all platforms here. Archer is no upgrade on what we have. 6-month loan max. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to be because there's genuinely people who don't like him in here, which I think is crazy. But once again, I'll say this again for people who haven't said it and believe it. 2 things can be true. I really like Joseph, shockingly. I really like Joseph. I think more minutes. I think Firpo in the side and Bogle in the side, and a potential 10, or like a variation of the number 10 would aid him massively. So I don't want to give up on him. I know a lot of the fan base have given up on Joseph, or they feel like he needs to leave right now and all this sort of stuff. I think Farker knows that Joseph is a project of which Leeds need to work with. That's my thoughts on him. Guys, I've never said this with Greenwood, never said it with Gelhardt. I just see something with Joseph. I just see something. It's my personal, subjective. But am I going to be crying if Cameron Archer doesn't come in? No. Because I'm kind of now hoping Joseph kicks on. And if he kicks on, gets a bit more game time, we have Firpo in and around the squad who's going to massively help him. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about. I don't think it's as bad as people make out. I think there's context to why Joseph hasn't been great this season. It's context. So yeah, we know what's going to happen with Peru. We know what sort of player Peru is. Is Peru that step up to the Premier League? No, for me, squad player maybe, there's no way he deals with that athleticism, physicality, tempo, speed. He's been the same player since he was at Swansea. Joseph, there is potential there for him to be a Premier League player at some point, and that's kind of what I'm working with mentally. Once again, it's long-term thinking, isn't it? So, yeah, but I'm not heartbroken if we don't get Cameron Archer. I'm not. But would it be nice? Yeah, it would be nice, but I'd want an option. I'm not sure about an obligation right now. I think that works for both sides as well. But overall, it's I mean, the poll, I don't know if it's changed a little bit now. Get involved in it, guys. 55% of you again. We've had nearly 500 votes. 55% of you are saying yes, which is the majority, of course. But I thought it'd be swung 70, 80%, to be honest with you. Anything at all on GK's, Matt? Nothing yet, mate. Apparently, it's not a position we need. So this is the thing, like, that's kind of where I'm at. I've mentioned this on the stream before. So we've scored 60 goals, the most in the division. The best goal difference that we've had, basically outweighed, obviously, by the amount of goals that we've scored. We've scored 60 goals, and we need a new striker, which I find really confusing. We need a new striker. And look, a lot of you'll say, well, Connor, the club are after a striker. I think they're putting the feelers out there. I'm not sure they think they need a bid, because you'd be seeing Leeds, probably panicking right now when it comes to Cameron Archer, and they'd have second, third, fourth options. It looks like, from what we understand, it's Cameron Archer or nothing. So they probably feel like he maybe is that long-term option. I can have my opinion. You guys can have your opinion. They maybe feel like he's that long-term option. Maybe the negotiation is stopping at the fact Leeds want an option. Maybe Leeds don't want the obligation. We don't know the ins and outs of this conversation right now. But if Leeds thought Archer was good enough for the Premier, you feel like Leeds is like, why would we be stumbling on this deal right now? Oh, they do it on the cheap. Well, they don't, because we've got the most lucrative squad in the division. So that's just, we're not doing that whole arc, everyone. Oh, well, there's chances. They're not chances, are they? They're trying to improve our stadium. They brought us back commercially completely, especially when you go down to Ellen Road and you see the facilities, etc. right now. They've invested in the squad. They're not chances. My God, I hate it when people say this. They're obviously not chances. Look at where we are in the division. The chances are not where we are with the depth and range of options that we have. It's just facts. But if you want to call them chances, frauds, that's fine. That's fine. Because I think people use that as leverage for giving Daniel Farker a prep up for some reason, which I don't understand. They're all in it together. We're all in it together. I don't know why there's a divide and a separation when it comes to Joseph or Peru, Gruev or Rothwell. Blah, 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 blah. Just, we can enjoy both. We can just have our opinions on selection wise. But for me, looking at the whole overall pie right now, which is the 49ers ownership of Leeds United, they've done a good job. I can't understand why they've done a crowd. They've not given him the artillery. Look at the options he has. And for me, it all comes back to maybe additional excuses being made for the manager, even though we're all content with him right now, and he has got a good enough squad to get this team promoted right now for me. Worth remembering that the season is 2/3 done. That's a good point, mate. That's a really good point. Lars says the new number one, a right-footed centre-back, DM to play Tanaka. Are you saying now this, Lars, or are you saying a little bit further on down the line, mate? Yeah, man, it's a lot. I agree, though. George in the building, how you pals? It going? I worry about a starting 11. I don't worry about a starting 11 or bench as it is. What concerns me is another Pascal injury with Verba on and off. Leaves us thin. Another striker and centre back. Yeah, 100%, mate. Like, I get it with Pascal. But Pascal's a worry. I think it's a sensible comment. I think he's a worry on that left-hand side, especially with Verba injured all the time. Maybe the injuries with Verba will calm down a little bit when the January transfer window's over. Who knows? If they don't, then we just know that he's got consistent injury problems. If he's suddenly back and available, you maybe think to yourself that there was a push for a transfer. Who knows? Yeah. I think Pascal's the big one if we can keep him fit. But once again, it's just, you come back to it again, don't you? And I don't like Ampadu at the back. I don't like him at the back. I'd rather him be in the middle. But is it enough? And it's quite contradictory, this, because I've said before, look, if Pascal's out for a period of time, I'd want another centre-back. But I just feel if Verba's fit, and then you've got Ampadu as rotation, like, that is ridiculous at this level. Do you know what I mean? So it all kind of hinges for me on Verba. You know, if Verber's just not going to be fit for the remainder of the season, okay, yeah, I get it. And these are the ifs and buts because we're paying Verber a wage. He's on a contract with Leeds United. I imagine it's a pretty, once again, using that word again, lucrative contract. Can Leeds go out and get another left-sided centre back? Let's be honest, guys. There's been no noise of it, has there? There's been no noise of a centre back. I get the why aren't better sides coming in, but better sides didn't come in for Somerville. What do you mean, mate? What do you mean by that? Are you on all day, Connor? Since it's deadline day, can't stand Sky Sports. We'll be having a little bit of a break, mate, but you guys need to keep me going here. My missus has gone out. She's got a job interview. How selfish is that? So I've nearly run out of coffee. Connor, quick question. If we're promoted to the Premier League, which players would you keep? Appreciate it's not an easy question. Okay, so back to front. We'll do starting 11. Bogle stays for me. Rodon and Strauch. Yeah, we'd have to get a proper backup centre back. Left back needs investment. I think Firpo will leave. Or maybe he's just waiting to see what happens, but I still don't know if I trust Firpo in the Premier League. Once again, no, actually, I don't. I love Junior Firpo, but no. That's me being ruthless. Got my ruthless hat on today. Midfield, Tanaka and Ampadu. But I think we'd need two more. Going forward, Ramazani, yes. Nonso, yes. James, bench. And a lot of you guys are not going to like that. Solomon, I don't know. Undecided. Joseph, no, not yet. Peru, no. So, we've got Ramazani. So I'm talking about maybe starting for Leeds. Ramazani, Nonso, Tanaka, Ampadu, Strauch, Rodon, Bogle. So I think 7 start. Maybe not start, but, you know, are the ones that I'm convinced on. Rodon, weirdly, I'm still a little bit... But, you know, yeah, he was signed for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. So, you know, we've got to take that into context as well. Can he make that step up? They clearly thought he could make that step up. He's been so essential for Leeds as well. I think the only thing with Rodon I worry about is that build-up from the back. Strauch is still miles ahead of him in terms of that build-up. I'm just worried about his build-up being caught out a little bit. And he needs to score more goals, man. He needs to score more goals, doesn't he? Nick says, the only thing that is missing with Joseph is goals. He'll be quality in a year or so. Clark says, best name of the stream so far here, by the way. No, normally we've got Bowden Llewellyn, who tops the bill. But Clark Rivers says, couldn't agree more with Joseph. There was a player there waiting to come in. Once it clicks, we have a good one, 100%. All right, we're going to have a quick look at the window anyway. Let's have a quick look at deadline day, see what's going on. I know a lot of you guys enjoy me doing the old deadline day, so let's do that. Deadline day. Bang. Let's see what's going on, eh? Is anything going on? Yeah. Okay, come on. We'll get you guys on here. Deadline day. What is going on here? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get you involved. Deadline day. Have I got a stupid thing on the back? No, I haven't. Okay, so what's going on? What is going on? Alcaraz. Wow. Carlos Alcaraz, medical at Everton. I'm just seeing if anything else is going on. Should I have worn a yellow tie, guys? Should I have worn a yellow tie? Arsenal working on assigning to Matthias Tell. Oh, there he is. Let's give it a quick retweet, shall we? Yeah, nothing really going on. Sunderland are interesting, actually. Sunderland will only allow Thomas Watkins. Oh, my God. Adingra. Oh, my God. If Sunderland get that done. Okay, guys, we don't want that to happen. Jesus, Simon. Do you know what Sunderland, if they go up, are just going to have this data model of like a Brighton of a Brentford. Adingra will be a ridiculous signing. Like, that is a joke signing. We do not want them getting Adingra. Jesus Christ. So that fair play. Like, they're only letting Watson go. They will only let Watson go, who, by the way, I think if they keep on, will be a right talent. If Adingra comes the other way, didn't expect to see that. I wonder if Craig's done anything else on Sunderland. Is there anything else? Wow. My goodness. Cameron Archer to Burnley. I don't think so. Where are you seeing that? Where are people seeing this? Is it the Fabrizio Romano fake account? Is that what it is? Yeah, wow, that'd be a crazy signing. See if there's anything else quickly before we get onto your comments, guys. There he is. Oh, I thought it was Visa then, to be fair. Okay, let's have a look at Sheffield United. See what they're doing. Okay. I think it's similar to what we know, isn't it? It's Jimmy Dunn. Yeah. Nothing extreme on there. Gruev 100% sell. Peru 100% sell. What's going on with Schmidt? Not yeah, that's it, mate. That's another one. Another one. Leeds United with a player there who, yeah. Yeah, cheers, mate. Appreciate it. I'll let her know. I'll text. I'll say Wayne said good luck. Where are we seeing this? Where are we seeing this? Hold on, let me have a quick look. I've not seen this anywhere. Archer to Burnley. I don't think that would make any sense. Hold on, let me have a quick look. Is it just this Fabrizio Romano guy? Who, by the way, it's not the Fabrizio Romano. It's a fake account. Yeah, it's a fake account. Are you guys on about this one? Hold on. Is it this one? You're all talking about by any chance? Is it this one by any chance? Because guys, quick one from me. Always look at that. Yeah, we'll get this guy out. Hold on. But yeah, always have a look at the username. That is not true. That is not Fabrizio Romano. So yeah, if that is you, Sid, that's the Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, exactly, mate. Is it Ash? Right. Okay, there we go. There we go. Rodon might cut it in the Prem. It's ruthless. Might not cut it in the Prem. It's useless. Coventry are looking for a fifth win in a row. They'll be right up for it. But this is the thing, like, yeah, look, Coventry are going to be right up for it. You know, Coventry are going to be right up for it. You got Frank Lampard there as well. You got Matt Grimes who've gone there. But I was sitting with the greatest of respect. I'm seeing Coventry, and it's a good midfield, but I'm seeing Coventry fans say Ben Sheaf and Matt Grimes the best midfield in the division. Genuinely saw that the other day. But then I've seen from Chef Wednesday fans this season, like Barry Bannon's the best midfielder in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? Some of these clubs who are maybe down there a little bit with the greatest of respect don't understand what's at the top of the division when it comes to depth and player quality for me anyway. But yeah, it should be no problem for us. It should be no problem for us. Coventry. I don't care if he's gone on a winning run. Would a point be the worst result? Coventry, probably not. It probably wouldn't be the worst result. But yeah, I mean, we've got more than enough to win there. Standards, expectations have got to be high. I'm like, oh, it's Frank Lampard. What does that mean? It's nigh on a completely different squad going up against him. Do you think Ramazani's going to care about Frank Lampard and Derby in whenever it was? You know what I mean? Half that Frank Lampard team gave us a guard of honour and won the league anyway. So, yeah, madness. What signing Tanaka has been? He's probably worth 20 million now. He's definitely one to keep in the Premier League. Pete says the only problem I have with the result of the weekend was that we push. More? Oh, right. Okay. He's saying that we wouldn't push for more players. Okay. Let's have a look. Chances. Font make the ruthlessly efficient signing we have this season. Chances sign Augustine. Yeah, man. Exactly. Punk Chef, shout out to you, mate. How's it going? You're not chances of having them 49 on my team. Got the chance to check. Exactly, mate. That's the chance theory. Scott says you're giving up on Brendan. Okay. So do you want Brendan Harrison in the Premier League then? Is that your starting cam? Let us know, Scott, because I've seen you a couple of times say this in the chat, mate. So when I've mentioned Brendan Aronson, yeah, for the Premier League, he's not good enough for me as a starting cam for Leeds. But if you want Brendan Aronson as your cam in the Premier League, that's absolutely fine, mate. He scored 2 assists all season. Got a goal at the weekend. Brilliant. Brendan's been good this season. Listen to what I say. So we're taken out of context again to fit narratives. Listen to what I say, right? I don't mind Brendan at all. Is there upgrades on Brendan, in my opinion, in the squad? Yes. Is there upgrades in general on Brendan Harrison for a Premier League campaign with Leeds United if we want to survive? Yes. If you want to stay with Brendan Harrison, that's your opinion. That's absolutely fine, mate. I believe you are completely wrong there. And I believe if Brendan Harrison in the starting 11 in the Premier League, I think there'd be a problem there. And we have evidence of that. Giving him an extended run and Joseph would score, saying that Peru has played well the last few games. Do you think Farke is underperforming? No, I don't, mate. We're top of the division. Joseph couldn't ask for a better season to prove himself. Quality out wide in competition from man who's at number 9. Just a shame Farke doesn't want to put him that much faith in him. Yeah, and that's been my, if you look at my major criticisms with Daniel Farke a lot of the time, it's the Joseph stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think it is. I don't think he's managed him well. That's my thoughts on it. Joseph has been given a chance. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but he needs to be given more of a chance, you know? And promotion, I think we've got enough quality in this side right now to allow Matteo Joseph more game time. Because I think we're so good right now in terms of depth, quality and depth, that Joseph can be given a run out. He can be given more of a run out than what he's getting right now. And if look, Peru's done really well in terms of efficiency at points during this season. But if he's going 5-6 games anonymous and not scoring and not touching the ball, then yeah. If football's on a meritocracy, I think that he does deserve to be put back in it. It's his first season. So, yeah, that's been my major criticism, and people haven't liked that because Joseph's not come in and set the world alight when he's been getting 10, 15-minute spells and starting the odd game. I just don't think that's the right consistency for a young player, and especially with the ceiling that he's got. We all know the ceilings that he's got. But guys, right now as well, I've said this multiple times, if we did get to the Premier League, Joseph would be loaned out to the Championship for me, you know, be loaned out with the Championship with a view that he'll be good enough in the Premier League. I don't think Joel Peru is good enough for the Premier League. Shout out to you, Danny, top man. Everyone give a shout out to Danny, who's just gifted a One Leeds membership. Well done, mate. Thanks a lot. Stein says, Burnley another 0-0 against Oxford tomorrow, mate. We'll be doing that on the second channel. But yeah, definitely. Why not? Hit the like. Shout out to Justin. How you doing, mate? Not seen you over here in a while. It's just some guy spamming in the chat. Oh, fair. Fair. Burnley, Sunderland, Chef U are just doing signings out of desperation. Yeah, I think, is Sheaf injured? Is he injured? That's big news. That's good news. He's always injured, Nick, at this moment in time. I think that's why I was like, we're talking about him at the beginning of the window, actually. 8 million quid. Would you do Ben Sheaf? I like him. But yeah, it's injuries, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? It's like, I think Sunderland's have been good. I think looking at Chuba Akpom, I think looking at Enzo Lafie, and I think looking at Marcus Edwards are top signings. And there's conversations with them, like Archer and other signings. There was a conversation, can they make the step up to the Premier League? Definitely. In terms of like, you know, there's a conversation there. I don't fear Sheffield United signings. Hamza Chowdhury, Jimmy Dunn. I think Jimmy Dunn's very much like, you know, who's the lad at Brentford? Reminds me of him a lot. My God, I've forgotten his name. Hold on, I'll find him now. He reminds me very much of him. What's his name? Nathan Collins. Reminds me a lot of Nathan Collins. Jimmy Dunn. I think, yeah, that'd be a decent signing for him. I just don't look at what they're doing right now. Like, if they're to make these permanents, let's say, they're coming straight back down. Like these are, you know, will they get them up? Potentially. The league's not great this season, but we saw Hamza Chowdhury last season, didn't we, with Leicester? It wasn't anything special. I don't even think he started most games, did he? I know Winks was in there, and obviously Dewsbury Hall was in there as well. But I'm not really sure who's starting most games. He could be. I could be wrong there, but he was okay. I think he played well for them at the weekend as well. Ben Brereton Diaz, I think at this level is a decent signing, but I wouldn't have him. Tom Cannon at this signing is a decent signing, but I'm not sure I'd have him. So yeah, Burnley. I think Marcus Edwards is a good signing. I think it's a good signing. They brought in the Norwegian right back, didn't they? But I'm not looking at it and going, oh my God, we're now in trouble. You know, I'm just not. Where does signing Archer leave Joseph? What would you do with him? I think, yeah. Then it then just becomes a conversation of Joseph and Peru, really, doesn't it? Like, who's going to come off the bench and who's going to make more of an impact? I think Joseph's obviously the lowest ranked there, which is, you know, based on what's happened this season, you know, he should be the lowest ranked. I think Joseph stays in the squad. I think he gets even less game time. He doesn't go today. There's no way Joseph goes today, in my opinion, if Archer signs. Just don't think it happens. Joe says, Aronson is 100% not a starter in the Prem. Yeah, shout out to Donna who's just got Danny's membership. Shout out to you, Dan. Connor, would you have any Iheanacho at Leeds for the future? No, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Like once again, what's the long term plan? What's the long term plan? Let's have a look at Iheanacho now. Iheanacho, where is he now? How old is he? I was about to say 28 years of age. Once again, I always think with these things, why is he not being linked with better clubs? You know, at a top level. Not for me, mate. Joseph is not League One. Jesus, I see some stupid takes, but that takes the biscuit. All good, Connor. Good lad, Justin. The guys on Sky Sports News are terrible. Have they got the have they still got just like randomers on there? Do you think I should try get on there? They'll kind of sit there, don't they, with the old Andrew Tate, just sit there like that. So and so signing for so and so for 8 million quid. What do you think? I think it's a really good. It's just what we do on here, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Jimmy Dunn was at Burnley, big heart, so average, not a tactician, not a technician at all, lads. Andy, I like Andy's takes. I like Andy's takes up the Clarets, 100%. Sunderland have sold Tommy Watson for 18 million with add-ons. Apparently, we're apparently getting it. That's a class signing, mate. It's a class signing. That is probably better than Marcus Edwards. See, that like Edwards, Adingra, they are really, really good signings at this level. I think Tanganga's. Andrew's just said Tanganga. I think Tanganga would be a good addition. I think he'd be your best signing. I think Sheffield United if they brought in Tanganga. I think that's a good one. The wingers I'd be interested to hear, but I think Tanganga's a top signing if they get him. I think that's a really, really good signing. Tommy says, any promoted team gets relegated now. Gaps too big. Nah, I don't disagree with you, man. I think Leeds are in a blessed position, says Joe, with the squad depth. But I ain't going to complain. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Like, I said this to Jim, Joe. You'll see it. Like, I think when you bring in signings to Sheffield, I mean, with the amount of players they're bringing in a new squad, aren't they? But you bring in 6, 7, 8 players, let's say. They've got to work. And you got Tom Cannon putting the ball in for Ben Brereton Diaz at the weekend. But it's got to work long term. You know, I would rather be in a position right now where Leeds United have fostered this squad relationship, this depth, where it feels like the synergy's on point, and we've got some of our fan base, Joe, worried about striker, and we've just scored 7 against Cardiff and should have had 10. Ramazani missed the 1-on-1, which I can't believe he missed. Should have been 10-0 that game against a team we've not been beaten in 8. Might all change against Coventry. Do I think it will? No, I don't think it will. I think we'll beat Coventry. But yeah, let's have a quick look at this anyway. Let's get some Tommy Watson news on. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Where is he? Tommy Watson. See what's going on. It's a shame, Sunderland fans, that you've lost him, I think. I like Tom Watson. He's a good player. Thought he looked mint against Sheffield United. Absolutely mint. He was frighteningly good. Gave me the Jack Clarks, to be fair. So is he 19 as well? Okay, I thought he was a bit younger than that. Adingra, though, you know. Adingra. Let's see is there anything on Adingra? Guys, as well, if you see anything, send me the links in the chat and we can speak about it. I need to see this Adingra stuff. Yeah, it's not a great season, but very Ahmed Diallo in terms of technicality for me. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because that's like, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. He was being linked with Hello? Any better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is that better? Is that better? Not better. Bit harsh, Carl. Better now? Better now? Let me know. Oh, Carl, the best part of the show. Jesus, they've been that bad. Always mutes himself. People get really angry. That guys, I've been on stream for an hour and 32 minutes. That was 20 seconds. Give me a chance. Okay, yeah. So I was talking about Adingra anyway, talking about Adingra and how good a signing that would be. But yeah, some interesting points from you guys there. Oh my god, you guys letting me know that I was was it sneeze? Sorry, that's probably what it was, mate. But yeah, I was reading out this anyway. Joseph, I'd agree with this. I'd agree with this. Get your glasses on. Yeah, mate, they're a bit. My eyes are struggling at the minute. I highly rate him. I think this is on Adingra, but feels like we've had Brighton's pants down for 18 million. Football Martin says you will get Archer. Hi Martin. Martin, do you fancy coming on, mate? I was literally going to message you about Archer. Mate, if you're free, let me know. And yeah, I'll send you a message. But if you fancy coming on, be good to get you on. You'll get Archer. I've been told he can go on loan. Is it? Yeah, if Martin's keen on coming on, I'll watch your content, mate. Really good. But let me know if you fancy it, bud. Let me know if you fancy it. Eight Up Lads might take on players, might not be yours, but I'm Leeds since 73. We can hear you. Yeah, but what do you think, everyone, anyway, about that signing? Fab, Connie, you've gone on to me. He only muted himself to take his... Do you want to join Patreon? Let me know. Link in the description below for Patreon, everybody. Really helps. Thank you so much. But yeah, he only muted himself to tell his patrons that Archer's done. A lot of people are saying it's done, to be honest. I just don't know how far this is going to go. Is this going to be? This feels like it's going to go right to the end, doesn't it? Right to the end. Interesting what Martin said there about him going out on loan. To be honest, it's best if we got a striker, midfielder, and centre back on loan for the rest of the season, then make the permanent signings now. I know West Ham are furious about us snatching him. Going to check this situation now. Mate, why do that? Demar says, "Oh, come on, Demar, you're a menace, mate. You're not coming on." We need to do a little fan thing, don't we? We need to do a little fan thing very soon. I'm going to do like a post thing, but we've got loads coming on today, everybody. You lucky lot, right? I'm on at 4 with Brownie. I'm on at 4 with Brownie. Then we're on the watch along for the Sunderland game on the second channel. I don't know if it's my old boy. I'll say to him, "Can you come on? You free? Wanna come on?" Yeah, 4 o'clock we're going live with Brownie. 7 o'clock we're going live with the Sunderland watch along, and then 11 o'clock we're doing a roundup. So we're going to be going on till like 1 a.m. guys. So if you fancy it, let us know. Archer's been spotted walking through the Holbeck estate looking at houses. Norman says, "Don't need Archer. Would be nice to block Burnley." They're not in for him, mate. They're not in for him. I'd come on, but people don't like my views, mate. Chris, if you were on, I think we just have Farka Bash. I can't legislate for that, mate. Maybe if they've got beaten, I can legislate for him. I can legislate for you Farka bashing, but coming on after we've just beaten a team 7-0 and sit 5 points clear, I just can't do it, bud. Oh dear. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so a little bit more on the Adoa situation. So if you guys don't know, Southampton have signed a winger / centre forward here in Victor Adoa. I'm sorry if I'm battering his pronunciation. David van der Broek says Antwerp is Victor Udo has been demoted to the reserves. The Nigerian winger who joined in 2023 came on for 14 times under Van Bommel and 12 times briefly under De Rock, who was difficultly made a breakthrough. He still plays with under 23s, but he's looking for a new club. That's interesting because you do then wonder if he's going to come in. He's 20 years old. I thought he was younger than that, you know. I think we mentioned in the stream, I thought he was a bit younger than that. So he still plays with the 23s, but he's been demoted to the reserves. I wonder how that's going to work. God, we're doing absolute mental gymnastics at the minute, aren't we? Absolute mental gymnastics. Yeah, mate. A lot of podcasting yesterday. People don't like Connor's views, and it's his channel, mate. If I didn't have my views, some people wouldn't have things to talk about. It's just a reaction to what I say. That's not an arrogance thing, by the way. I'm the least arrogant person you'll ever meet. Humble. Stay humble. I'm a humble guy. But yeah, man, a lot of people disagree with myself. Even like KG. Me and KG get a lot of people hot under the collar. But it's nice to have this, isn't it? It's nice. These are my genuine views as well. I am the same here as I am with my dad, as I am at Ellen Road at the weekend. I'm the exact same. And the funny thing is, like, the online community is very different, in my opinion, to points of which it is at Ellen Road. There's a lot of people who agree with what you're saying, but they can also talk about it in a respectful way, which sometimes online people are just not respectful, which is what does my head in. My cousin dog auntie's best friend said they saw Archer walking into Thorpe Arch. Speaking of Nigerian player, I don't know if you're taking the mic there. I'm not sure. Holbeck to Beeston. Yeah, guys. Keep getting your thoughts in anyway. It's great to hear loads of you guys. We've got 3,000 on all platforms this morning. Shout out to you guys. We're going to get into a little bit more on your comments. Michael says, just so I'm clear, Connor, if contract talks have started before the deadline, then the player can sign after the deadline. I think that is true, mate. Yeah. Amy says, we need to be careful in who we sign. We have to be thinking about the Premier League, and Archer doesn't start for me in the Premier League. Interesting. Hatchie says, is it valid to say that there could be concern with your owners that you have made 130 million euros in profit this season alone, but you're only looking to bring in one loan? I think, to be honest, Hatchie, we've still made investment in the summer window as well. And we've also managed to keep hold of a lot of our players who attracted a hell of a lot of interest in the summer, which I think is big. But, you know, if you're bringing in a player with a loan, with an obligation, that's just not a free signing, is it? It's not just bringing in a loan. That is, if you've got an obligation to sign someone, you brought in a loan player there with a loan fee, which will start maybe covering his wages, but then obviously you've got an obligation, you know. So there's not a concern for me as well. I keep saying this because we're top of the division. We are on Monday, the 3rd of February. We have February, March, April, May. Not long left. Not long left. Pete says, what's going on with Schmidt? Any news on Archer, Slim Shady? Is that one person? I know what you're getting at, you cheeky so-and-so. Edith says, injury free now till the end of the season. Yes, we have more than enough, but if we get injuries like we have this season, it's just a huge risk, not worth taking. You're right, mate. I'm just very much, Edith, with this whole thing. I'm very much like, that's true, and you are right, but how many more do you legislate for? So we could get Byram and Firpo consistently, well, injured quite a bit, aren't they? At left back, okay? So then do we go get another left back? Strout does pick up injuries. Do we get then another left centre back? You then look at the striker. People aren't convinced on that, which is fair enough. Go get that. Number 10, not convinced on that. You go get that. It's like, how many? This is the whole thing again. And we're just having a look at the poll now as well. 59% want Archer now, which is fair. But you know, there's a lot considering these signings right now for me. You know, we've got to consider if they're going to really acclimatize and if they're going to be Premier League signings, you know. So I think doing business now is risky. Because you bring in now players for Leeds United with the contracts that they're going to be on. We are going to be utilising these players in the Premier League. So if we get there, of course. So yeah, these are all big things that we have to take into consideration, I think. Liverpool have bought nobody. They are top of the league. Maybe we've copied their model. Well, last time they won the league, we did as well, mate. Craig says, agree with Connor, champ, yes, Prem, no. Mark Gue, yeah, I know this is kind of where I'm at a little bit with this is kind of where I'm at with Mark Gue, really. You know, we're looking at him at 19 years of age. And I thought to myself, like, well, they said they were looking at him anyway, us being linked. So this is the thing, guys, just agent talk a lot of the time. But why would we do that? You've got Joseph, who started the season. Mark Gue, don't get me wrong, would be a nice sign. He's a good player. But why would you do that? Like, when you've got Joseph there, and he's probably the best young striker prospect I can remember in a long time at Leeds. Young striker prospect, that is. Word prospect as well. Yeah, and then you'd bring in Chelsea's youngster, propel him potentially, and he could propel Leeds. But then you sort of alienate Joseph. Gue then becomes your starting or second striker. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for me, that. In my opinion, we're making a big mistake if we sell Joe. Yeah, you sell him, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, in my opinion. Is that abusive? No, because it's like a hypothetical person. Okay, I'm not saying anyone on here is saying that. But yeah, you sell him, you daft. Absolutely daft. James says, why do you think people want Archer? Who does he replace? Has he ever proved the top striker in areas been? You prefer that over a goalkeeper, even considering we have more goals than anyone. Is this, James, is this my burner account? have I just told you to, have I told you to put that up there? Yes, I look, yeah, man. I mean, James, you've gone hard on that, mate. But 6 goals in 60, I don't care if he's been in two poor teams. The context is the 2 poor teams he's been involved in. How do you know we're not going to be that poor team as well? We hope he's not. We hope he's not going to be part of a poor team next season in terms of Leeds United. We hope that. There's no guarantees. You know, he was part of newly promoted sides, and he has been part of that. That's where Archer's level is right now. And if Archer's better than that, you'd have had a Crystal Palace, Wolverhampton of former years going in for him and buying him, but they haven't done that. So he's not made that step up. He's not proven it to these mid-table teams. So you bring Archer in, a big deal. It'll be a long contract as well. You've got to get the best out of him. So for me, let's have this conversation as well. You know, who would you rather having in right now? Oscar, guys, as well. Oscar's coming on at 11 p.m. So I'll have to get him on the thumbnail. But Oscar's coming in for the transfer roundup at 11. So if Leeds right now, Archer, look, be exciting, be really exciting. If Leeds can go in and get Victor Johansson off Stoke, I've said this multiple times. People keep saying, what goalkeeper? Victor Johansson. Improving every single year. His goal prevention is going up every single year. His save percentage is going up every single year. In the summer, a Premier League side is going to come in for him. It appears to be Leeds are trying to target the problem areas, obviously. But once again, I'm in January right now, and I'm looking at long-term signings, Premier League signings. Why would you not go and address the goalkeeper? I've told you this, guys, multiple times. Leeds United, let's give them a bit of credit, right? Let's give them a little bit of credit. Leeds are playing him and playing him and playing him and playing him and playing him, even if it costs us at points, because we can make up that gap with how good we are going forward. But he keeps the other teams in the conversation right now, Illan Mele, and I've had about 100 rival fans tell me that. But you don't want to do that, and you want to keep it interesting and spicy for the neutral, fine. But you keep Illan Mele between the sticks. The goalkeeper staff at Ellen Road still believe there's something there, which is what I've been told. However, if that is rubbish, which it could well be, and Leeds are just playing him to rise that stock every single time, rise that stock, then sell him as we go to the Premier League, that fair enough. But why would you not right now, when Carl Darlow evidently isn't even going to be part of proceedings going forward? We've won 7-0, guys, right? We've won 7-0. He's kept a clean sheet once again. Veer away from short-term thinking. We've done this multiple times before. Fair enough. Short-term thinking, great. We know long-term he's nowhere near good enough. The past 5 years, he's got a minus 40 goal prevention. Minus 40. And his save percentage has never got above 67%. Okay? Abysmal in the Premier League as well. So why not, would you not be thinking in this window, we'll go get Victor Johansson, who you're not getting Premier Leagues who've properly figured him out yet. But he's as good as Trafford. He's as good as Michael Cooper. Gone from Rotherham to Stoke. Stoke have always got financial implications. They're always looking to reel a bit of money in. You can go and get him for under 10 million quid. Why would you not do that? A loan to an obligation, if that's what you need to do. That, for me, would be my number one signing. You sort it out between the sticks, Leeds. And the thing is, people say as well, you know, like with Victor Johansson, for example, he's on a plus 10 goal prevention this season, right? Which basically means that he's saved Stoke multiple times. So let's say if we're playing Coventry Wednesday night and we've got Victor Johansson between the sticks, Leeds are getting piled on, bit of pressure, corners coming in, Victor Johansson's catching it, claiming it, bringing it down. There, I mean, a couple of strikes on goal. He's making really good saves, preventing goals from going in. Like, not just standard saves of which you gas up the goalkeeper, but actually putting in really good saves, right? And you get him for a decent fee. And imagine the difference that makes. The difference that makes the back line, the defense's confidence in the goalkeeper, and then actually just getting a goalkeeper in who saves you. Nobody's talking about that. And you're not putting a risk there with Cameron Archer with an obligation to bring in. Sort the guy out between the sticks. You've made an automatic improvement. You look at his career trajectory. It's gone from Rotherham to Stoke, where he was excellent for Rotherham. Their best player. I mean, the amount of saves he made. Do you remember when we played Rotherham last year and how good he was? Then you go to Stoke. He's been an excellent impact there. Then you come to Leeds United. It's a natural progression. You know, he's actually had more of a sort of period at this level than, let's say, a Cooper, you know? But that's the obvious signing for me. I completely agree. Completely agree. Morning, right? Yeah, all good. It's all right, mate. It's all right. West Brom agreed 2 million for Ipswich. Alex Palmer. Has that just been done, mate? Or was it? Am I going mad? He's always been on? Am I going crazy? Alex Palmer. He was always at West Brom. I didn't know he was on love for Ipswich. My God. My God. See, this just upsets me. I'm trying not to get upset at this right now. It just 2 million quid for Alex Palmer, 2 million quid for Michael Cooper, 1 million quid for Victor Johansson. We can't do it though. Can't do it. So we can't disrupt Elan in there. You know what I mean? It is just so Archer right now or a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper all ends up. All ends up. Fine, we've got 60 goals. Sort him out for me. As you can tell. Dan says, Connor, stop annoying yourself. I know, mate. I know. It's not happening. Statement signing for Sunderland. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been watching the stream, lads, but yes, that is an unbelievable sign if you get a dinger. No genuine Connor checkout. Okay, I will do, mate. I will do. I can speak for everyone when I say the man at IPM is, mate. I'd say, has anybody heard of the Bailey brothers? Let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, Desmond Bailey. That's him. That's him. People questioning getting a striker. Forget we need a striker as Bamford is done. It's over and we can't rely on him scoring. Sai says it was supposed to be a quiet window, but do you think the sudden potential move for Archer is due to team? Yeah, I think look, there's definitely a conversation with Cameron Archer. I just don't see it. I think they're going to dig the heels in a little bit. Hold on, I've got a couple of Twitter messages. No, nothing. That might be the big one, you know, Adingra. That might be the big one, but it's quiet. It is very, very quiet. Maybe having a decent keeper makes the defenders. Agree, Connor. Completely agree, Connor. Get your Hansen if that's a spelling. I'm not sure about Archer. We have forwards already capable. I think the thing is, Pete, it's a natural progression of your squad, and you just already know he's going to work in the Premier League. And you're upgrading. But the thing is, you go get a striker and everyone loves that. Oh, somebody's going to score loads of goals. I couldn't care less. You have an unbelievable keeper. I'm more than happy with it. More than happy with it for me. Nancy says they don't see the goalkeeper as an issue at all. It's baffling. Keeper 100%, but Fark won't get one, so it's not an option. See, this is where, like, as Crook just said that Archer stays. There you go. Is that what he said? Okay, here we go, everybody. So if that is the case, then we'll stop all the deadline stuff now. Let's have a look. Is that what he just said? There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. As I say, that is the most obvious thing ever, isn't it? It's too quiet. It's too quiet now. There's nothing. I mean, he's not even spelled his tweet correctly, likely. He's a Man United fan, so I always try to banter him a little bit for this and just general things. Leeds still pushing hard for Archer, but at the moment, more likely stays at Saints. I think they'd just be worried about it. Do you know what I mean? They'd just be... Yeah, that was 4 minutes ago. Yeah, Mm. But I, but I thought it was, but I thought it was done. I thought it was done, Archer. I thought it was unequivocally done. Like, yeah, this is kind of how always saw it, and it kind of like half glass empty. I get it, but nah. Yeah, that's it, Polly. Archie can't get into a matchday squad for a current Prem team sitting bottom of the table. Why does everyone think he improves our starting 11? Farker, last players, I remember him dropping with Drama and Ailing unless you keep your place. Yeah, definitely. Ross says Leeds suffering from a little bit of survivorship bias right now. Oh, nice one, Ross. I like that. I think that's a really good comment, Ross. I think it's a really good comment, mate. Survivorship bias is spot on. Focusing on goals, which are not a problem, rather than sorting the defense, which is a potential problem. And that's the thing, mate. It's long term thoughts, isn't it? It's long term thoughts. It's always what happens with Leeds, doesn't it? We aren't signing anyone, and that's like, yeah, that's what I thought. I just had this like, it's like, I don't know. I don't. This is the whole giddy aspect of it. It's like, when does this ever happen with Leeds? And look, it's a new ownership, of course it is, but I think that with them not trying with anybody else, no one else, and we know this, like nobody else is being. It's not Ian Acho, there's not Evan Ferguson, Mark Gue. It's just not happening. Like, why would we suddenly like pivot away from a Cameron Archer? Cameron Archer is obviously the one that we're going for, but like, I just think to myself, like, they've got 3 or 4 days left of the window. Whatever we say, Ben Brereton Diaz has gone to Southampton. He's gone to Sheffield United from Southampton. They bring in a kid called Ado. They've won at the weekend. Juric doesn't like him, but if you're Southampton, surely you've got to be thinking of next season. You've got to be thinking of next season. Now, I do think it makes sense for them to let Archer go in a sense to Leeds, but you are weakening. You are weakening. That's the thing. I don't care if he's not in the squad. 2 months, Juric might not be the manager. They might bring someone else in who prefers Archer to Oyenachu, you know? So there we go. Look, something might change. Something might change, but we ain't getting Archer. It's not happening. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Right. Right. This is something that I didn't expect to see. Okay. Oh my god. Right. Okay. Sunderland are reportedly interested in Southampton striker Adam Armstrong alongside Middlesbrough, but a deal is unlikely due to Leeds' interest in Cameron Archer. Okay, this is interesting. So, domino effect here. If they keep Armstrong, maybe this is what the holdup is right now. Maybe it's Sunderland because Sunderland now apparently have money, and maybe they're willing to spend a lot of it. Yeah, this would cost a fee, definitely. But you can imagine Sunderland's PSR is pretty decent. Sunderland are reportedly interested in some. Okay, we don't want this to happen, by the way. I do not want Armstrong at Sunderland. That's one thing. Another thing is Armstrong would be close to home. We know he's a Newcastle lad. This would be interesting when it comes to loyalties, but I don't know whether or not there are loyalties in football anymore. But yeah, I'm not 100%. Look, if Armstrong stays, maybe Archer then comes to Leeds. There's no way they're letting both of them go. So Sunderland could really scupper Leeds' plans here. If Sunderland go and get Archer, that's a problem. But B, that means that Archer's definitely off. They ain't letting Archer and Armstrong go. I feel like that one's more unlikely, but maybe that's what the holdup is. Maybe that's what the holdup is. Okay. And it's the Telegraph as well. Wow. Okay. Sunderland and Borough are both keen on Adam Armstrong, but a deal will be tough to complete today. Surely not. That would be. I mean, what are the comments here? Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. This cannot happen. They can't let. And as loads of people have said as well, a Geordie signing for Sunderland. Surely not. That'd be crazy. Let's have a look at Saints Extra, see what they're saying. There we go. Southampton have not changed their stance on Cameron Archer, making him. There we go. Well, it's going to be a quiet one. It's going to be a quiet one. Good one as well. Look at this. Borough, interesting signing. Southampton midfielder Will Smallbone. Wow, that'd be a good one. Yeah, guys, it's unlikely, I think, isn't it? It's unlikely. So we've gone from this. We've gone from this at the bottom. Yeah, if there'd have been like a dramatic change, and we're all like, oh my god, here we go. But there hasn't been a change. Nothing's been done. Like, what's changed in the last like 72 hours? They don't want to sell him. We've had a bid rejected. I don't even think we've gone in with a second bid yet. Have we even gone in with a second bid? Yeah. Yeah, unbelievable, Oran. Armstrong's ice cold. If that happens, yeah, that's a problem. Problem is, if we get our hopes up when we left deflated, I'm almost like, if we sign someone, fine, but I'm not expecting it. My worry is we've had the best squad in the league and it's still close. Now everyone has improved around us. Saints have had a win and now they hope they have a few games in with teams around them. They look a very serious operation, Sunderland owners. Time will tell if it's good enough. Why is all the champ clubs going after Southampton players? All speculation is pointless. We only need a keeper. We know it. I agree, man. We do. We just need a keeper. That's what I'd be saying anyway. Interesting though, isn't it? Interesting though. My God. Tell you what, let's have a quick look. Let's bring ourselves up a little bit more, right? Because I know people are probably a little bit deflated by that. So once again, Leeds won 7-0 at the weekend. Don't know if anybody's aware. Jamie Kemp, fantastic Twitter account. Safe to say, by the way, that was the largest XG created, I think, in Championship history. I think. Safe to say, LFC 7, Cardiff 0 was one of the most dominant performances in Championship history across the first and second tiers in England, Spain, Germany, France, Italy. It was the first time a team have had 5 XG whilst conceding 0.1 or fewer since PSG 9 Green Camp in January 2019. So this is what we're working with, guys. This is what we're working with. Bearing in mind, Southampton were unbeaten in 8. Unbeaten in 8. Saints losing Armstrong would completely destroy morale. Surely, no. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Hasn't he been captain as well at points? Or is he captain? I'm not worried about Burnley or Chef, but Sunderland more now. They're getting the Wonga from. It's Tom Watson. Yeah, Tom Watson. Sunderland are getting their money from good business over the last season. We made 14.5 on Clark, 8 on Stewart. And 15 on that Stewart, the Ross Stewart one was mad, wasn't it? We do good business. Yeah, you do. Look what I tagged you in. Jikanji, I've actually put tags off, mate. I put tags off because, yeah, I was getting a bit of crap a few years ago, mate, and I decided to turn them off. So tags I actually don't get, and I know Helen will be upset at that. So sorry, Helen. I know you tagged me in a few bits. What is it? I'll get that ugly mug off my face, off my thing. What is it, mate? Let me know. Let me know. I'll try find it. Hold on. Let me try find it. I've got this one guy who messages me all the time about transfer things. You can DM me. I'm not encouraging that in terms of you're just going to abuse me, but yeah, you can DM me, mate. I'm not sure you can tag me. That's the only thing. Oh, James Marshman. Cheers, mate. Yeah, let's have a look. James Marshman, I don't mind. I think he just says, I don't think he ever breaks anything, does he? But it's yeah, it's logical in it, I guess. Let's have a quick look at what he's saying. But yeah, I think Marshman, well, there he is. Let's have a look what he's saying. It's not like breaking news, is it? But okay, Southampton stance on Cameron Archer is unchanged, making a deal for Leeds. Tough to pull off with the clock ticking. Leeds' stance has always been they will only add to the squad if top target is doable. As it stands, it's felt the squad is strong enough to achieve promotion objective. Burnley, meanwhile, have signed Marcus Edwards with an obligation, big in it. Borough have also recruited another winger, Samuel Illing Jr., joining on loan from Villa. Yeah, cheers, Select, cheers, mate. And Jakanji's in there as well, I think. Really appreciate it, guys. You guys tagging me helps, even though I've not got it on. But telling me on here you've tagged me helps. Drum says, if Sunderland had money, they would have used it at the start of the season, not wait until the 11th hour of deadline day. And there's a good point there. Good point. Good point. Could you imagine if Leeds release a tweet saying Mele's, oh, mate. imagine. Wouldn't be good, would it? Yeah, it's a load of you know what right now because Dan's having a medical right now. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about when it comes to Armstrong. That's a bit mad, isn't it? That's a bit mad. Look at Jimmy copying my titles as well. Do you know what I mean? Look at Jimmy in there. I've got my eye on you, mate. I've got my eye on you. Jimmy will be saying that Sheffield United have won the league now. It's Football Guru talking about interesting Pascal going to Spurs. Yeah, that's going to happen, especially if we don't go up. I think the big thing as well is like how many Leeds fans just don't rate him, which I think is absolutely hilarious when it comes to you know, how many Premier League clubs clearly love him. Legit can see us re-signing Firpo and putting it that way. Do you reckon? Firpo. We didn't realistically need to spend because we had depth in the form of Mundell and Watson, so didn't need to replace Clark. EJ says we have more than enough. We have more to spend than Sunderland. We had more transfer money coming in than any other club in the summer. Yeah, but do we need to? Do you already have a player coming in mind that would be the perfect signing if we're to get promoted to the Premier League? Good question. A perfect signing if Leeds to get to the Premier League. Realistic. Victor Janssen. I know a lot of you will just look at that and go, what, Connor? Or if they didn't go up, Michael Cooper. I'm not of the striker stuff. I'm just not of it. You know, that'd be my number one signing, guys. You all know that anyway. If you've been following me for a while, I'm just not on this hype of a striker, a 10, and all this sort of stuff. I think we've got enough rotation in the squad. I've told you a million times, I think Brendan Harrison can be rotated for what we've got in the squad. You will constantly get fed this narrative of a winger can't play in a number 10 role, which my French is absolute bollocks. You 100% can. And yeah, I think we've got enough rotation there. I think the rotation options up top is positive now. You've just got our number 9 who's not scored in a while, get a goal. I kind of, as much as I like Archer, I'm a little bit like, I just don't want to disrupt Joseph. And a lot of you guys will be like, oh, he's crap, this, that, and the other. I just think a goal will help him. Now, minutes, a bit of continuity, Firpo being within that starting 11 and actually having another wide player, which is going to aid our other wide players in Firpo being back, balance across the side now, which I think is perfect without Byron being in there on that left-hand side. I just think that's going to aid Joseph. I'm very much of the problem with this team is the goalkeeper. He's the issue. So why suddenly do we need Cameron Archer? We don't need Cameron Archer. We want Cameron Archer. There's a massive difference. A massive difference. Do Sunderland need players? Yes, they do need players because of their depth right now. Do Sheffield United need players? Yes, they do. Because there's 4 or 5 of them who have been, kiboshed out of that starting 11 and squad. They need players. So yeah, of course they do. And then you look at Burnley. Do they need players? I don't think they do, but they've gone and got Marcus Edwards, and it's an obligation, 12 million, isn't it? So let's hope that works. But then you look at them, they've got Manuel Benson. What does this do to Jaden Anthony, by the way? Again. I think the good thing about what Edwards does is Edwards takes. So there's two things here. Does he utilize Edwards in the right way? Parker, I don't know. I just don't know if he does. Like, would I want Scotty Parker in charge of Marcus Edwards? That'll be an interesting one. Obviously, I think he's been in the same setup with him at Spurs. But the second thing is there's potential now he turns their 0-0s into 1-0s. That's the worry with Edwards coming in, especially when you look at their games. He's got the quality right now they're playing Oxford tomorrow night. Let's say, hypothetically he was playing. Marcus Edwards has the quality. We know Benson has the quality to turn 0-0s into 1-0s. That's the problem. And when it comes to that, but that shouldn't affect us. It shouldn't affect us. He's not as good, mate. Esteve is not as good as Rodon and Pascal. No way. On that, he's a left-sided centre back as well. Would you rather have Esteve over Pascal Strout? No way, mate. No way. If let's say they go and get Spurs, I mean, naturally you're getting Spurs who are naturally a top 6 sort of side, going and probably spending big money on Strout. Why are Spurs not going in for Esteve? There's no way Pascal Strout. I would take Esteve over Strout. No way. Not in a month of Sundays. For me, anyway, mate. Milk says people are obsessed with spending money needlessly when... Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Danov says, what's your thoughts if we don't sign anyone and don't go up? Well, it's not ideal, is it? Is it the board's fault for no signings? That's a good question. I think there's a culmination, isn't there? Then there's a culmination. My opinion as a fan is this team's good enough to get up. So unless we have crippling injuries towards the back end of the season, which sees Ramazani going out, for me, I know you guys might not see that as a problem because we've got rotation in there, but I think he could be the X factor that gets us up. And he's a massive contributor when it comes to goals. Someone like him, Pascal or Joe being out for the remainder of the season, Tanaka being out, I think all those things, culmination is, as the caveat, is a problem. But how can you plan for that as a football side? You just go and get more and more players, and then more players come in and you disrupt the squad harmony. Because then there's a question over certain players starting 11. Am I playing now? Am I now out? What if these players come in and they're not the right temperament? They don't have the right attitude to blend with this squad that's already got a really good morale and a really good sort of cohesion between them all. So I don't know. But whose fault is it? Well, it'll be a culmination. But I come back round to this all the time. Is the squad good enough right now? Is Farker doing a good job right now? Yes, he is. Leeds top of the division. Daniel Farker is meeting his objective as an employee of Leeds United right now. Top of the division. Fantastic. 5 points clear of Burnley. If he doesn't get us up, he should be sacked on the spot. Sacked on the spot. So then the question comes back round again, is the team good enough right now? Is the team good enough right now? Is the team good enough right now? Pascal Strout, Ramazani, Joseph, Nonto, Byram, Gruev, I mean, Byram even at right back. This lot start for 95% of the division. They start for 95% of them. Him. I'll even say him. So basically, these 5 get into every single side in the division. They start for every single side in the division. I'm convinced of it. Conversation maybe over Joseph, but the rest start. I think you look at Esteve and you look at Verba, they're the same level. That's what I'm talking about here on that left-hand side. Pascal's the level up. Verba and Esteve for me. Verba plays football games. If he plays football games regularly and he isn't injured, I think he mirrors a lot of what Esteve does. So that's your depth. So for me, if we're having a conversation about whose fault it is, Farke's fault and the player's fault. But the captain of the ship always goes down with the ship. Shout out Dido. But do you know what I mean? Yeah, Farke's fault, 100%. And the players. I'm going down with this ship. I will hurt myself and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love. Rob Holding. My God. That's terrible. The best thing about Rob Holding is that hair transplant. Aragon says we have players that can turn 0-0 to 1-0, but doesn't mean they will always do or will. Bringing too many players could also disrupt the group and take time to work. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Chris says if the other three teams weren't to go up, what player would you take from each? Michael Cooper. Jade Nat. No, I'm joking. Michael Cooper. Brownhill. Ooh, Sirkin. Michael Cooper, Brownhill, Sirkin. That's closer than you think, Connor Esteve. No, he's not. No way, mate. No way. Why are Spurs not in for him then? You know, why are you not getting top clubs in for Esteve? No way, mate. There's not a chance. I actually think Egan Riley's been better than Esteve this season. 16 games left, everybody. Oh, that's it, Drum. 16 games. Let's have a look at the. Let's have a look at that. And I understand that. I completely get that. I completely get that people get a little bit quivery with that sentence. But I'm just gonna have a look at our last games, okay? So who's tagging me in something? All right, someone's just messaged me saying supposedly the Archer deal's off. So yeah, we'll wait and see, I guess. We'll wait and see. Pinch of salt, but we'll wait and see. Let's have a look. What was I showing you then? Oh, fixtures, that's it. Leeds fixtures. Right, so after this one, Watford away will be tough, but let's have a look at, if you look at Watford's results, right? It's not been ideal, has it, lads? No excuses again. They've beaten him with a battered team. QPR have got a point there. Barely beaten Oxford. Then you come down, and my goodness, at home, lost to Preston. Lost to Norwich. They should be losing to Leeds United as well. Right? So we go back. Okay, we go back. And then we have a quick look at Leeds United here. Okay? So Cov, going to be tough, right? Let's say worst case scenario, we get a point. Millwall, who cares? Watford, Sunderland, Sheffield, I don't care. I'm looking forward to these two. I'm absolutely buzzing for these two. I'll be honest. I am buzzing for these two. Why would you not be? These are the games we live for. You know what I mean? Like, why would you not be buzzing for these two? I want us to go there, slap this lot up, because apparently they're now the best team in the division again with all these signings they've made. I'm not speaking for all Sheffield United fans there, but you get my rhythm there. So Sheffield, yeah, I think we beat them. I think we beat them 2-1. Sunderland is going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. As I keep saying, they're the best team I've seen in the top four this year. They're the best team. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. But then the reason I'm making this is you then look at from Feb 24th, West Brom at home, Millwall at home. Obviously, this is actually going to be one of the toughest games, I think. That is going to be one of the toughest games. They've not been beaten in about 8 or 9 games at home. Borough's never easy, but you look at these last 8. So we have 16, 1 league games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that Canberra? Is that right? 12. Is that right? Am I going mad? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God. It's 12. How is it? It's 12 games left. Is that right? Hold on. Let me check. Is that Championship League table? Championship League table. Is that right, chat? Is it 12 games left? 16. What am I on about then? Where's the 16? Where's that coming from? Am I going mad? Yeah, clearly I've done the wrong thing there. Maybe I can't count. Can I count? Oh yeah, I just didn't scroll down. Sorry, my apologies. My apologies. It got stuck. My mouse got stuck. I was like, Borough, second to last game. I don't think so. Yeah, and is the season finished on the 12th of April? But yeah, these are the last games. So yeah, these are the last games. So obviously QPR is going to be tough. Borough's going to be tough. Preston. But look at these last 5 games. Okay. And I know some of them will be fighting. Oxford, I think, will be mid-table. I think they'll be all right. I thought, they'd struggle. They're going to be tough at home. But will they have a lot to play for? Don't know. Stoke will have nothing to play for as per usual. Bristol City are just going to be mid-table. They're probably already going to be down. Preston, mid-table again. Borough, it's just going to be playoffs in it. Luton, they'll have nothing to play for. Well, to be fair, they might go down. I doubt it, to be honest. Swansea, again. We're not really playing teams, I think, who are really going to be like amidst the relegation battle. Portsmouth, maybe, but their home form might just get them out of it again. QPR are going to be nowhere near it. So you actually look at this and you actually think, relegation battle sides. I don't think a lot of them will be fighting it. So we're playing kind of like mid-table range sides here, I think. I do think Portsmouth's going to pull away a little bit. So they're probably going to be the toughest game, maybe in terms of that relegation scrap. But we're playing them quite early, 8th of March. I think down here is the problem when you're playing relegation-threatened sides and they turn into 1970s Brazil. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. You going to the Sunderland game? I might be doing it, mate. Graham Bailey. To be honest, look, I've had Graham on the channel before, but I'm not massively sure what he knows, but I don't know. He might know. Middlesbrough and Sunderland both asked Southampton about Adam Armstrong. As he stands, he's more likely to leave than Leeds target Archer. What? Middlesbrough and Sunderland. Maybe it's the fee. Maybe Sunderland have just gone for a really big fee. Borough and Sunderland have both asked Southampton about Adam Armstrong. He's more likely to leave. Interesting. Shout out to you, Tom. Thanks, mate. Yeah, a few people have messaged me about the Archer thing, but I don't know. We just believe it when we believe it, don't we? Believe it when we see it. Yeah, I can't see him letting Archer go. Whatever it is, I can't see him letting Archer go. Anthrop says, those last 5 games with pressure on don't fill me with glee. We've got to play. The thing is, Anthrop, we've got to play teams, haven't we? And you got to think to yourself, like, if we're coming up against, if we're coming up against, let's say Sheffield, Sunderland, Burnley, last 5 games of the season, or even like, a team vying for the play. Some of those teams might be trying to get into the playoffs, to be fair, so it might mean quite a bit to them. Oibab says Armstrong unused sub at the weekend too. Yeah. Interesting. Facundo Buonanotte could be recalled today, and Brighton are wanting to send him to another club. Could be another one. Are you confident anyway? Right, we're gonna put another poll up. Are you confident? Are you confident in what's going on right now? I don't know what I'm sensing with you guys. Confident regardless? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. I want to know what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are vibing. There's over 3,400 of you in here on all platforms. Thank you. If you're not over on YouTube, guys, head on over. Head on over on YouTube. Create an account. You get loads of benefits as well with being a YouTube subscriber. You've got as well multiple notifications you'll get. I'm not always streaming on Twitter as well. It doesn't always happen. And Musk is making Twitter more difficult at this moment in time. So I might be coming off Twitter. Facebook's the same. So make sure you're heading over to YouTube and subscribe. Are you confident? Hold on, I'm reading something out. Are you confident regardless of what happens with Leeds United? Of course it's you going up, guys. Come on. Are you confident regardless of us signing anyone? You have to be with our squad. If we don't, then it's probably because we failed tactically. It'll come back to bite us eventually. Why? Why is that? Because if you want a striker, it's because we're not scoring enough goals, isn't it? Is that why? Ultimately, people tell me all the time that's this has been the whole thing with Joseph. Joseph's not good enough because he didn't score enough goals. Fair enough. But we've scored 60 goals, 11 more than second when it comes to that top six. Melee I get. Melee I completely get. But you can put someone in goal in the squad who's okay. Melee I completely understand though. But I'm really interested to hear what you guys think on that. Let's have a look at the poll at the minute. Yes, 72% of you are confident. So this is what I can't understand. So let me show you again, guys. Let me share this again. This is what I can't understand. Okay, so goals prevented. So these are the players that save you points per season. This Ginger Prince, 11.3 prevented. Even Palmer, who's just been signed by West Bromwich Albion, not doing great on there, but his save percentage is high. Then look at our boy, just in 14th, 16th, in another minus, by the way. And this is what I was talking about last season, what I talked to you guys about all the time. Okay, Hermansen, 6.7. Look, see how Victor Johansson's made a steady increase. That's what I'm talking about. And our boy in 19th on 4.5. So his average is actually a little bit better than last season. But yeah, don't hold your breath because this can go. And like I said to you guys, I always look at save percentage here as well. Because save percentage is the direct association with the goalkeeper. A clean sheet is the unit for me. So I don't really look at that. Save percentage in 23-24. Where was he? So you got Palmer up there as well. Look, 68. Hermansen flew last season. Anthony Patterson did really well. And then we go here. Bang. Is he there? There he is. 67% in 16th. This season, I've not looked at this for a while, to be honest. Where is he here? So once again, Janssen right up there in a crap Stoke side. Palmer up there, look, 74%. Oh, not on the top 10 list again. Where is he? 13th. He's actually at a bit of a height when it comes to... That's actually better for him. Normally, he's down here. So he's gone up a little bit. He's gone up a little bit. Someone's just messaged me. Shout out, mate. I know you will be watching this, but someone just messaged me. I don't want to say this because it makes me sound like an absolute arse, but someone messaged me and just went, "You were right again." Because he messaged me about Emi Buendia and I went, never happening. It's never happening. All the links. Oh, I might be getting closer to Leeds. I just went, never happening. I'll talk about it on the rumour mill, but it's never happening. And he messaged me about Archer about 3-4 days ago and I went, it's never happening. I just went, Fair enough if it's wrong, but I'm telling you, there's no way Cameron Archer comes to Leeds United. And obviously, Graham Bailey tweeting out recently. It seems like Graham's gone with a real side there as well with what he said. Armstrong's more likely to leave, so maybe there's a proper fee going in there with Sunderland. Maybe there's a proper fee going in there for Sunderland. There you go. There you go. Oh, is he going to Ipswich? Is that what it is? I've read that completely wrong. It's been going for so long. Palmer. Is he going to Ipswich? Oh. Oh, right. I'm so sorry, mate. I read that wrong. I read that completely wrong. I was like, is he on loan from Ipswich or West Brom? I'm sure he's a West Brom signing. Okay, good signing for Ipswich. Good signing for Ipswich. Sorry, my bad. My bad. I'm like you, Con. I've been going for over 2 hours on it. 2 hours and 28 minutes. My God, I've not had breakfast yet. Our GK, SAFC fan leads up easy. What is going on? Where have you said this? Archer's now coming. What are you talking about? What is going on, mate? What is going on? Archer's. Yeah, so it seems like Southampton fans are all going with the Archer bits, guys. They're all going with the Archer bits. Yeah, Sunderland are expected to sign Jaden Dans on loan as well. Us and Sunderland are going up. Watch this space. Josh, you're a Leeds fan, mate. Presume you are, pal. Don't know why we swapped Kladaki for Muric with Burnley. Oh, mate, how bad is Muric? For we all know, Connor, we have 3 signings that have their welcome Leeds videos. Hopefully, mate. Well, hopefully, I'm not really that bothered, but yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? We all like shiny new toys. Can we get 3 goalkeepers in? That'll do me. That'll do me. It's very close at the top. Rivals of strength, and regardless of if we're getting our team any bad luck with injuries, where we could, but there's the other thing is as well. Imagine if we have we have the whole season. We've got 16 games left. Imagine if we have a good luck with injuries. We've got a good run of fixtures after Sheffield United. So, Phil, you tell me why I should be bothered. Because you've been upset at me the whole window, mate. You tell me why I should be bothered. I know you're on here all the time, mate. I know you're on here all the time, bud, and I respect your opinion. You tell me why I should be worried right now or bothered. Why should I be? I keep throwing the stats, and I don't know. Phil, I know you're in here every stream, mate, and you know why I'm not bothered. Tell me why I and all Leeds fans should be bothered right now. Hold on, let me just get, because it's just getting to a point of which now I'm just a bit baffled. And I get it's football. I understand. I always bang on about subjectivity here. Hold on, I'm just trying to fix. I need to get some stats up here. I need to start proving a few bits. Let's have a look again. Can't argue with stats. Stats don't care about feelings. So yeah, don't get me wrong. We have the old adage of maybe injuries, but maybe we don't get injuries, guys. Maybe not. And the good thing is we've built so much of a squad that it looks like we can deal with injuries. Can we deal with a list with the greatest of respect of Luton, of maybe QPR, of other games like that with Ampadu at the back? That's a question. With Verber at the back, of course. Let's have a quick look, though. Some stats. And Sunderland fans, Burnley fans in here, Sheffield United fans, tell me, are you a little bit envious of this Leeds squad? All right, let's have a quick look. Let me just put you at ease a little bit. 16 games left, by the way. We've played, 30? So who cares? But football rating, whatever. 7.12. Goals per match. Goals per match. 2. We're averaging 2 goals a match. Two goals a match. Goals conceded per match. 0.6. Burnley 0.3. How many is our goalkeeper thrown in as well? Okay, what else have we got here? Also, goals per match. Who else do you see in there with the greatest of respect? Let's have a look. So Norwich and Borough. Sheffield Wednesday, then you get to Sunderland, right? Okay. I think Sunderland are a dangerous threat this year. I've mentioned that several times. I'd be more worried if I was down here and Sunderland. I'd be even more worried if I was there. That's where I'd be a little bit more worried. Okay. So that's effectively, what is it, your top three right now. We're in second there. Goals per match, we're top. And our nearest competitor's what? 6th or 7th? Clean sheets, if you want to take that into consideration. Okay. 18. Average possession, which is how we dominate games, nearly 63%. Expected goals, 56. Shots on target, 5.8. Big chances, 92. 92 big chances. Next, in the top 6, is Borough on 66. Big chances missed. Fair enough. Which just shows we're creating them at least. Accurate passes per match. Yeah, whatever. But touches in opposition box, 908. Which basically is an equalizer to how much we're dominating games. Corners, look, it's a way you win matches, isn't it? Possession won in the final third. Look, it's just this is where I don't get it, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand when the table, we are where we are. All the stats back everything up. Why should I be bothered and unequivocally panicked at the fact we're not going and getting Cameron Archer? And as much as I don't think he's the finished article, as much as I'm not 100% convinced on him, as much as we can have a conversation about him in the Premier League, let's have a look at something else as well, shall we? Again, bada bing, bada boom. Joel Peru is in the room. Joint second top scorer in the division, right? So there's more context with this guy, 100%. I agree. More context. I'm still not convinced by him, but he scored the joint second amount of goals in this division. So that's why I'm not bothered. That's why I'm not bothered. I find it so stupid that some fans don't want the 49ers to make the Leeds squad even better. Well, you give me some names then. You give me some names on, and it's fine, mate, of course, but it doesn't feel like this narrative, because I think that's what it is at the minute. I think it is to move the blame a little bit. I'm struggling to, if you've got a target, of which they evidently have with Archer. Me and Brownie were discussing this on air not long ago. They've had this target for 2 weeks. He's been a long-term target as well. Do you just want them to bring in anyone then? Would you like us to go in and get Iheanacho? Is that what you want us to do? Just go in and bring Iheanacho in because it's a body, and we can do a big glossy signing video and it can be all nicey nice, and we can go get a striker of which we don't really need. That then potentially is going to affect Joseph, and we're probably going to have to do something with him, as in send him out on loan. She can't really have 4 strikers on the books. Bamford ain't going anywhere. Peru's obviously going to be within this Leeds United setup right now. He's the second top striker in the league. So then what do you do? I can't, you can't just legislate for Leeds having 40 injuries. You can't do it. You can't legislate for that. It just doesn't happen. You've got to be confident in the squad that we've built in the summer. Angus Kinnear famously said in January, it's now impossible to really go out there if you Leeds United and improve that squad. Does Cameron Archer unequivocally improve Leeds United right now? There is an argument that he does do that, and that's probably why he's our number one target. But there's also a conversation right now that it doesn't work. Obviously, that's the risk with signing. The problem is with Cameron Archer is it's the structure of the deal, evidently. Now, right now, would he help Leeds? Yeah, but it looks like what Southampton are angling for is a is a summer transfer and an obligation. But then does he? So if you've got an obligation to sign Cameron Archer, is Cameron Archer then somebody you want to be utilising in the Premier League? I don't know. Stats would tell you no. 6 goals in 60 appearances. Oh yeah, but he's been in 2 crap teams. Well, he might be in another crap team next season because we're a newly promoted side. So he might be in another crap team by Premier League standards. I just, it's this constant need for more and more and more and more. And I think it all comes from maybe like an insecurity of being a Leeds fan where it all blows up in your face. And I understand that. But it sounds very Arsenal of me here, but at some stage, you've just got to trust this process. We're a more balanced squad with every metric that we had last season has been improved on. Every metric. We've got goals coming from everywhere. We've now got midfielders contributing to goals. It's like just, I feel sometimes it's like we have to have absolutely everything. We'd get another 4 players in and still that wouldn't be good enough. We get, 2 players, we'd want 3. 4 players, we'd want 5. And trust me, if we lost to Coventry, there's going to be an outcry. And I'm going to get people coming in my section abusing me, saying, "Oh, you like this, like that. You ain't got a clue. You're clueless." Well, fine. Okay, that's fine. That's just my opinion. But calling them, I find it so stupid that some fans don't want the 49ers to make the squad even better. But right now, I bet you and everyone else who's been sort of like going with this as well have said that we've got the best squad in the division before the transfer window. I'm pretty sure I've seen you say that, Phil, anyway, mate. Mate, innit? Can't win. Can't win. I get it. I understand it. I understand it. I get why people are upset about it. But for me, that the focus is on the wrong part of the team. Would I like Archer? Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would. I'd question the deal. I would. I'd want an option, not an obligation right now. So I question that. So if Leeds are halting on that, I don't mind that. And I don't want us to be held to ransom over Cameron Archer. If they've walked away from the deal, fine. It's not worth it. If they think the squad, if what Marshman said is correct and they believe the squad is strong enough, fine. Technically, it is strong enough. We've got 16 games left and we're 5 points clear. Scored the most goals. Got one of the best defensive record, the second best defensive record in the division. We've got the best goal difference we've ever had at this stage of a season in our history. So I don't know. I just think doing these things sometimes it's I get it. I completely understand it, but we know where the difference has to be made, mate. The difference has to be made between the sticks. If you've got a guy between the sticks who doesn't throw the ball in the net, and the manager, by the way, comes out and consistently backs him, he called him the best keeper in the division last season. Do I think that's a 49ers problem as well, by the way? Yeah. I don't know collectively why they're in this as Elan Melee is the next big thing. It's just not happening. We all know that now. We've got that point, evidence, and explanation as to why he's not good enough and why long term, by the way, he won't be good enough. So this window, you bin him off, you get your Hansen, he would be good enough, in my opinion. But yeah, the whole arc of like it's Archer or nothing is madness to me. Madness. Jane Dan's having a medical at Sunderland on loan from Liverpool. Now then, mate. Welcome. Welcome. Remember Augustine, went in from no knowledge and look how that turned out. Every team would trade players with it on the squad, keep calm and carry on. I think the point is we all know if we don't go up this season, it's going to be a hell of a... That's it, Donny. That's it. That's it, mate. And that's where Phil's coming from. And I get that. I completely get that. But you kind of... We're being... I don't want us to be held by Southampton to a point of which we can't legislate, we can't really vindicate. They can't just say, well, this is what we want for Archer. Bang, bang, bang. And I think they're going to do this because even letting Archer out on loan, it's a 50-50 split in the Saints fan base, a 50-50 split. Juric goes, a manager might come in, and I think Juric will be gone. A manager will come in and he might want Archer. They've got to think long term here. I don't think Armstrong's going to go anywhere anyway. But once again, they've already let Ben Brereton Diaz go. And I completely understand the whole boost. And I'm going to get loads of it. If we don't go up and I've dared to come on here and say we don't need anyone, I'm going to get so much crap. And I understand that. That's what you do when you do these YouTube things. But I believe the squad that they've assembled so far has been more than good enough. If we're languishing in 5th right now, 4th or 5th, 10 points off Burnley, 10 points off Sunderland, 8 points off Sheffield, whatever it may be, I'd turn around and said, you know what, lads and lasses, you're right. You're right. We need to go and get bodies. I felt last January we needed to go and get bodies. And that was when the 49ers were there. So it can't be all, oh, Connor subbed the 49ers. I wanted us to get bodies last January. And I was a bit upset with what we did. I thought in the summer transfer window, they left it quite a bit before we went and did stuff. And I was like, lads, come on. So for people who say I don't criticize the 49ers, they're absolute wafflers. I was doing it towards the back end of the summer window. Lads, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And then they did it at the end. And now we've got the fruits of our labor right now. We're seeing what has come to the fore. We've got rotation everywhere in this squad. Someone mentioned Isaac Schmidt. When have we spoke about Isaac Schmidt recently? Was Isaac Schmidt even in the squad at the weekend? I think he was, but he doesn't even get in. Was he in the squad? I think he was. You want him in the squad? What, even in the squad? I mean, I think he could have been injured. You guys will let me know in the comment section below. But at that bench, as strong as it is, in fact, no, he won't be in the squad. Who does he get ahead of there? Schmidt isn't even in the squad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man. Some of you don't realize we need to keep all the funds so we can spend when we go up. Also, can't fill the ranks with non-prem level players now. We shouldn't spend apart from keeper. Do you think do our fans think you can play 12 Verpo in the 10? It's another thing. It's good, guys. It's all positive though. Like, it's all positive. Like, I want this to be like a bit of I want everyone to be like assured and confident and us to be together. I get that people think we need another few bodies, but I don't know, to say it's stupid. I just think it's madness, mate. I just think it's madness with where we are stats wise, with with the outside, everyone on the outside turning around and saying, Leeds are going to do it. Look, I understand. Oh, it might not happen now. It might not happen. We just beat Cardiff 7-0. 7-0. And that was supposed to be a tricky game, so they're not lost in 8. That's the level of what we can have now. Ramazani's coming back into the fold, who is like a new signing coming back. He's top 2-3 players in the division, Strauk's now back, so we can look at what we need to do with Ampadu. Schmidt's not even in the squad, mate. You've got teams at this level spending record amounts, 3.5 million quid. Record amounts, club records, 3.5 million on a sign in this window. And Leeds have got Schmidt, who came in on 4.5 million quid alongside add-ons. He didn't even get into the squad. Right, you bang on, mate. We are top of the league with the majority of the games being played with our 3rd and 4th choice centre mids. Who genuinely thought when Rothwell came in and Tanaka came in as the double pivots, we'd be struggling? You know what I mean? Like, they came in, Rothwell and Tanaka, as second choice. And Norwich's midfield, who at the time were flying, bearing in mind Marcelino Nunes, Borja Sainz, Sargent was still in that side. I think they just beat Plymouth, smashed them for 5 or 6. Then they played Leeds. We dominated that midfield when it came to Rothwell and Tanaka being a partnership in the 49th minute. Look, I know there's some of you in the chat right now. We dominated that Sunderland midfield with Tanaka and Rothwell in there. And then Sheffield United didn't touch the ball for 85 minutes with Vinny Souza and Arblaster in there. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at right now with it, Yeah, Gary, I agree that, like, an obligation's madness, I think. That's probably why we've walked away. Sly, I've never streamed this long in my life, mate. Never streamed this long in my life. How was the hospitality in the South Stand COD? It was good, mate. I had to have hospitality at the weekend. I was going to go to the game, but I just couldn't stand up. They got me in, mate. Sometimes these gems are duds as well. Not saying it won't work in the future, but Jack Clark has not been it so far for us. I suppose it's a different level. Yeah, man. 100%. That says, look at Sheffield United signed all these players, not performed well. Need a GK in this window. Like, that's the thing. It's like Sheffield, I mean, they're going to bring in Jimmy Dunn, Hamza Chowdhury, Tom Cannon, Ben Brereton Diaz, maybe someone else, can't remember. Sorry, Harry Clark. If we're just talking really now, and they won't do this because they brought in, let's have a look at Sheffield signings. We'll get it on here. And it's only because Sheffield United have brought in the most signings, by the way. I'm not having a go. I'm saying, like, from my Leeds hat on. Right, see how many they've brought in. Right, okay. So let's share it. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this as well. All right, it's Sheffield United. It's just like one of those where, look, guys, I'm more than happy. Signed in the winter. Look at that boy in the corner there. If they get Adingra and they put Enzo Lafie central, there's a problem there. Adingra can play left or right. They put Enzo Lafie central. I've told you my bold prediction is they finish top 2. They're the ones I worry about, especially if they get a couple more. Yeah, they're the ones I worry about. But do I worry? No, because I think we're going to be the other one. So no, don't worry. Yeah, it's unlikely, bud. Unlikely. Cheers, mate. We'll play Sunderland and Sheffield once more, and then we play teams that are not strengthening. Folk act like we're going to play Sheffield, Sunderland, and Burnley till the end. Yeah, that's a good point as well. It's a good point. Like, you know, the teams that we're playing. Let's have a look at once again. Right, let's have a look at the remaining fixtures again, because we've done it before. I'm sorry if this is annoying you guys. I hope it's been a good show. I'm going for like 3 hours here, and then we've got Brownie coming on very soon. Brownie's coming on in a couple of hours, so we'll get his thoughts on it as well. Oh, we're on the greatest signings of all time. Hold on. Greatest signings ever there. Let's have a look. Right. So, you know, literally, aside from Bam and Bam, we have got, and look, when we're looking at these guys, I think we've got better squads than them anyway. But aside from Bam and Bam, and I know football's not played on paper, but the majority of the time it is, we should be rolling every other side. And it won't be a roll. It won't be a roll. We're not going to go and batter everyone. It's not going to happen, but we should be beating them. A lot of these sides. So Sheffield United looking at Rob Holding. The thing is, Paul, there's only lone players, but the thing is, like, when you're looking at what Chowdhury, you're looking, it sounds like I'm obsessed with him here, doesn't it? It really doesn't. It's just there, the competition right now. So you're looking at Cannon for 12 mil, apparently, euros. Ben Brereton Diaz loan, Harry Clark loan. I don't know do any of them have an obligation in? I'm not sure. But they're on loan. I wouldn't be taking Hamza Chowdhury at 28 in the Premier League. Harry Clark is literally basement Bogle. That's what we'll call him, basement Bogle. There's a reason Ipswich have sent him out on loan, by the way. And he wasn't their first choice. John Joe Kenny was. Ben Brereton Diaz, I think at championship level, was a good signing. And as I mentioned before, Cannon, I don't think it's a bad signing as well. So I think that the top two, I think Cannon and Diaz are good signings. The rest are going to be all right. Jimmy Dunn's going to come in. Is he as good as Harry Suter if you're looking at like for like? I don't think so. But I think Dunn maybe has got a little bit more of a trajectory. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not. It doesn't scare me. I think Edwards is a really good signing for Burnley. I think if they get a Dinger, Sunderland, I think that's massive because, as I've said, Enzo Laffy then goes more central. I think then that's a good signing. That's a good signing. But as I say, we've oh dear. Leroy saying yes. Can I hang with Rick and the boys from Sheffield in corporate? Known them for years, worked with them 2 years. Good lad, Leroy. Good lad, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Top man. I need to respond to Des. Actually, he sent me a message on Facebook. Yeah, man. Love top lads. Top lads. Cheers, Phil. This season's completely different to last season. We relied on 2 players for the full segment, in my opinion, of last season. I don't think we do that anymore. Goals from everywhere. We'll tell you that as well. James has stepped up massively. Tanaka, we can't compare this squad to last season. It's so different. So different. The balance, the rotation options we have is completely different. Completely different. So comparing this to last season right now is difficult, I think. But okay, if we're doing that, last season we weren't top of the table at this point, 5 points clear of third, if we're comparing. Boga's my favourite player this season. Do we have any first team players that would go for less than 8 mil? I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. Commentary game is a must not lose. I'll take anything. Just want to stay top. Yeah, man. For me, it's not about getting players in for the sake of it. Yeah, I agree. Got to be careful. I can see it now. Eggs in one basket, Archer stays, and we get the we try crap. Fair enough. Yeah. Right, guys. Well, for now, I've been going nearly 3 hours and I've not had any breakfast. So we're going to be back on at 4 o'clock with Brownie. Yeah, we're going to be back on with Brownie talking about everything, everyone. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do us a favor, slap us a comment on here, slap us a like before you leave. As I said, there's over nearly 4,000 of you in the building right now. Really appreciate it, guys. As I say, I'm just going to whack some breakfast on. I'm about to fall asleep right now. Thank you so much, lads and lasses, and I will see you at 4 p.m. with Brownie. Don't miss it. Cheers, guys.